Hey, welcome friends. We are here for another one of our Slant Alpha adventures. Getting underway here in the A2A Comanche, and it is Pumpkin Pie and Patterns, hosted by the Indianapolis ARTCC on VATSIM. Sounds like we got a kitty monster stopping in. We got a bunch of folks in the chat to say hi to early. Well, look at that, Melvin too. All right, well let me get caught up with the hellos before I end up skipping people. But Bed Dave stopped in. JJ is here. Strudel is here. Kitty Monster moments ago. And Melvin Leroy here as well. Good evening, friends. Yeah, so Strudel says no pecan pie and patterns. No, it's pumpkin pie, and you can't blame me. I'm not the one who named the event. You can talk to the event coordinator at Indianapolis ARTCC if you're not satisfied with the choice of pie. Of course, on this channel, we're always partial to our downwind sim pies. I don't know what variety of downwind sim pie we're having. I would imagine we're sticking with the event motif and going with the pumpkin pie. Let me just fill you guys in on what we're talking about here, just in case you guys are not paying attention to the VAT USA event calendar. It's at vatusa.net under Pilot Tools and Events Calendar. And tonight's event here on the 24th of November already. Pumpkin Pie and Patterns, hosted by Indianapolis ARTCC. They're featuring Indy and three of their Delta fields, BAK, BMG, and HUF, which I'm still, I think it's Columbus, and then what's BMG? I forget. Bloomington, right, and then Terre Haute, right? HUF is Terre Haute, because that makes total sense, and then we're going to go back to Indy. So we're going to do a circuit. It's going to end up being kind of a similar mileage to a river run. So about 150 miles, 4 stops, 1, 2, 3, and then back to the origin for 4. So yeah, that should work out time-wise. They are staffing from 7 to 11. So a 4-hour block. So if we can complete 1 leg per hour, we'll be golden, and I think we'll do better than that. So we're getting started up here at Indianapolis. We're up at the signature ramp, the eastern GA parking area. GA parking area over here. I didn't catch which FBO it is there, but signature is where we are parked up here on the northeast side of the field. And let us get to it. Iowa Scotsman has also stopped in. Strudel's down to some eggnog. Yeah, I'm not mixture enriched this evening. I'm just the mix is running just normal tonight. So yeah, it's a school night, which I don't typically. Oh, we got some fog on the windshield. We're gonna have to manage some moisture, some carburetor icing, and some windshield defogging as well. So we've got those controls over here in the Comanche, so we can manage all that. I've got them mapped onto my my Bravo, in fact. So we'll be able to manage all that. And the Comanche is finicky. It will simulate carb icing if you're not watching that in moisture environments. All right, let's get right to it, guys. We've got good ATC staffing. Of course, they're hosting an event, so you would expect they're staffed up for it. But they've got Tracon staffing, they've got local staffing, they've got center staffing. Our friend Stu222 messaged us earlier. He's going to be working center, but we're going to be below the altitudes that he's responsible for tonight, so we probably won't talk to him. But yeah, let's get underway. We're going to head from Indy down to Columbus first, and let's figure out what that means for us in terms of our navigation plan. We're going to try and do this VFR. If the conditions hold up, we'll do this all VFR. If we end up having to do a pop-up IFR, or if we end up having to just grab an IFR clearance, we can do that. I think our best bet, we got this restricted airspace by Himsel Army Airfield here we got to watch out for. I think our best bet is to probably come over here to Greenwood, and we're not flying to the airport, but if we follow the if we dead reckon on a 124 miles to Greenwood, we can then pick up this highway. This looks like US 31 highway, and if we follow US 31 down, or if we pick up the interstate highway that's just to the east of it, which isn't marked here, but maybe it is further down. I'm not sure which interstate highway this is that parallels 31. But if we find these two highways and follow them down, then at least we'll be east of Himsel Army Airfield and the restricted airspace around it. So that will lead us straight into Columbus. As we get further down, we'll have to kind of just look to the left there and then we will find ourselves at Columbus. So I think that'll be the plan for leg number 1. 11 miles on a 124 will be our initial on course, and let's get underway. All right, well, first of all, we want to, of course, we would open the door first, because we would do that from the outside. Unlatch and open that door, and we would unlatch the windows as well, because we are going to want to be audible when we make our clear call moments from now. Let's get the control lock off. Let's get the fuel valves open, and I think let's go ahead and start our walk around. We're going to first inspect the flap on the right hand side. We're going to give it a wiggle in each of the 3 positions and make sure that it doesn't rubber catch in between positions, that doesn't have too much play in it. The aileron should move freely and it will not rubber catch anywhere. We are not going to need any fuel in the right hand tip tank, so we can skip that. We don't need to do a sump check there. We'll check the lights on the second pass, and we'll take up the tie down here. We're going to start with 25 gallons in each of the 2 wing tanks. So we'll pop open the cover to the right. Yeah, we burnt it down pretty low here. So let's go ahead and get fueled up to about 25. Poke our head in, make sure that it looks about 5/6 full or thereabouts. And yeah, it does, and it's correct color and consistency for the type of fuel that we have ordered. So we are good to go there, and we'll continue our walk. Let's grab the wheel chock. Let's do a quick check to make sure that no water has formed in the bottom of that tank. We may pull just a little liquid out of the bottom, make sure that it's not clear. If it was clear, we would keep pulling liquid out until we hit fuel. But it looks like we hit fuel right away, and that fuel is not contaminated in any way, so we're good. And it also appears to be the correct color and type for the fuel that we've ordered. No obstructions in the air intake, and no damage to the prop that we can see. We'll do a quick oil check here. We should have at least, should be showing slightly above the 9 mark and nice and light color, and it is. We did a recent oil change in this aircraft. I think maybe the last time we flew it for you on stream, so we kind of figured it should be nice light color this time. Here's our left wing tank. We'll go ahead and fill that up to 25 gallons. And again, kind of poke our head in, make sure that it appears to be approximately 5/6 full on the type of fuel that we ordered. And that does appear to be the case on both counts. So we shall move on. Oh, Tim Dog is Indy ground. Nice. We'll be talking to you soon then, Tim. Good to see you. Does the engine oil actually age in this aircraft? Yes, it does, Kelly. Remove the chock. Remove the tie down and the pitot cover. We don't need to do anything with the left-hand tip tank. You can just check the left-hand aileron. And we'll check the flap in all positions. I say all 3 positions. It's really 4 because you've got the fully retracted position as well. So we make sure that it doesn't rubber catch anywhere. Make sure the static port's not obstructed. We'll take up our last tie down. The vertical surface should, horizontal surface should move freely. Vertical surface should move, but not as freely. Make sure this static port's not obstructed either. And we will open up our storage area. Just taking the toolkit in one. I tell you, not even the suitcase, probably just the duffel bag. Just a little bit of a day trip. The rest of the stuff is not ours. All right, before we close all that up, let's get the battery switch on and all of the exterior lights. I'm going to get the yoke out of the way here. All of the exterior lights, let's do one more walk around just to make sure they are all lit. Green nav lights good. Strobe you can see from pretty much everywhere. Landing lights, yes, they are very obviously working. Red nav one's a little harder to see, but it's a little dimmer because of the overcast. So this is today it's a lot. It's a little more obvious, and the rotating beacon is spinning and illuminated as well. All right, so the strobe light can come off now. The landing lights can come off for now. Everything else, though, we will leave on. And I think that's it. Go ahead and pull the door shut and latch it. Let's go ahead and get the prop and mix full forward. We'll get the fuel pump running. Wait for the fuel pressure to come up to about 5. Top of the green range there. Heisenberg is with us as well. Alright, so once the fuel pressure is there, we'll go ahead and prime it. And it's a little chillier today. So maybe about 4 times. We can bring the throttle back down and put it to about 10% here. And we'll do right mag, left mag, both mags. We'll call out clear, 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 clear. We'll engage the starter. Slowly push the throttle forward. Yep, okay, there we go. Oil pressure has come up right away, lower left. Let's immediately drop the RPMs back to 1,000. Let's immediately lean the mix to the point where the RPMs start to drop. Right there. And then let's go ahead and close up the windows so I can stop shouting. Okay. With that all done, we can get the master avionics switch on. Then we can turn on the individual radios. COM 1 nav 1, COM 2 nav 2. Transponder can be set to 1200. And we'll get the ADF on. Let us calibrate our directional gyro. Looks like I'm parked at exactly at 280, so let's pop that in and make sure that our directional gyro agrees with that. Let's make sure it's a 280 and not a 260. Sometimes I get confused whether it's 10 degrees right of west or 10 degrees left of west. Yeah, so it's closer to 30, so it's 10 degrees right of west, so 290 is correct. Let's pull a ATIS information here. We've got 3002, and we're taking off on the 23s. So 3002 is what we'll put in the altimeter. And what's the field elevation here? I guess we should check that. So there's 3002, and the field elevation is 796, and we'll basically say 800 feet plus or minus. And yeah, it's pretty close to what's showing on the altimeter, so we'll say that's a good sanity check is passed. I'm going to flip the arrow to a 230. Actually, let's set the arrow to the exact runway heading, shall we? Since we're looking at it, it's a... Well, 230 is going to be fine. 229.5, so 230 exactly is going to be as close as we're going to get it. And then we set our on course for leg number 1. We want to navigate on a 124 for 11 miles and look for Indy South Greenwood Airport. So 124 would be our initial heading. And then probably more like a 120 even. Let's say, you know, we fly out a couple of miles before we make that turn. So the further south we go, the lower, the further around to the east that bearing is going to go. So let's say we end up a mile or two south. Instead of, instead of a 1-2 something, it's a 1-0 something. So if we go 4 miles south, further south we go, the lower the heading we're going to have to bear in order to get over to that Indy South Greenwood. I don't think we're going to need to go that far. Probably turn as soon as we get airborne and decide we've got stable climb going. But anyway, 120 or thereabouts, it's going to be close enough for our purposes, and 11 miles is going to be just about 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes. We'll call it 4 minutes. Heisenberg, I think I said hi to. Good Fixins is here as well. So thank you all for stopping in. Okay. Let's see. We've got the only we don't need an IFR clearance. We'll get our VFR taxi instructions when we're ready to go. We're Class Charlie, so we don't even need to get a clearance to leave the Charlie. We just need to get two-way communications established. They will probably assign us a squawk code. Let us set our radios up. We're going to be talking with Indy Ground on 121.9er. That should be our buddy Tim Dog. And then Indy Tower is 120.9er. And then we don't know for sure what the departure frequency is going to be. They've got an Indy East approach on 2495, a Indy West approach on 1905, kind of assuming that we would then talk to the 2495, but we don't know where that dividing line is, so we'll kind of just go with the guidance we get when we get our taxi instructions. Okay, so we don't need to be listening to the approach controller just yet. Let's focus on just the ground. It's going to be 1905. Okay, even heading down to whatchamacallit, Columbus. Okay, sounds good. Okay, well, we'll have both tuned, and that way we can easily flip between them. Nice to have that little insider information there. Thank you, Tim Dog. Either way, though, you know, we're going to get taxi instructions and a squawk code and a departure frequency from our ground controller here momentarily, where we would get that and have gotten that information anyway. So heading is set, altimeter is set. We got our navigation plan ready to go. We can do a control surface check. Alright, we can do the elevator check. We won't be able to see the rudder move, but somebody outside will maybe give us a thumbs up that the rudder's okay. We'll go ahead and set flaps for departure. And we'll go ahead and neutralize our trim. Trim is pretty good right where it stands. So I think we are good. And if we're taxiing out to one of the 2-3s, you assume kind of 2-3 left since that's closest. They might give us that down Delta, or they might have us come over here to Juliet and down. So either way, Delta will make a left, Juliet will make a right. Either way, we should be good to go here. I don't think there's anything else. Peter Veneer is with us. Peter, welcome. Good to see you. Okay. Rolling. Brake check. Brakes are good. And if we are headed south, then we're going to come up here and kind of make a left. And that would take us out to Delta, most likely. Okay. I think we're ready. And band slam checking in. Well, we got a pretty well attended stream this evening, guys. Good to see you. Monday night leading up to the holiday. I guess you guys are kind of throttled back from your real world obligations and you're hanging out with me. We'll love it. We'll take it. Indianapolis ground Comanche 514 Delta Victor, information Alpha. Work to signature ramp, ready to taxi for VFR Southeast.
Right, Comanche 514 Delta Victor. Just to give you a VFR clearance here, maintain VFR at or below 3,000. Departure frequency is going to be 109.05. And I'll get your squawk code here in a second. Squawk code will be 3707.
Alright, VFR at or below 3,000, 3707, departure 119.05, 514 Delta Victor, and we're ready to go whenever you are, sir.
Right, number 514 Delta Victor, runway 23, stand by one time.
So you want us off at 23 left or 23 right? Doesn't matter to me. 23 left makes more sense for southeastbound departure, but I also don't know what their normal airspace operation looks like here, so he's got to send us across the other side, and that's fine.
Comanche 514 Delta Victor, runway 23 left, taxi via Mike Delta, and hold short of runway 14.
Alright, 23 left via Mike Delta, and hold short runway 14, 514 Delta Victor. Alright, away we go.
Good evening, Starship November 11816 with Alpha.
Hey, Melvin Leroy here.
Boston.
November 11816, expect PD.
Okay, so this is going to be that little diagonal chute that's going to take us to Mike.
5 to ground. When we do push back into start, do we call you up, or is the push to start at pilot discretion?
Push to start with pilot discretion, call back for taxi.
Alright, thank you.
Alright, so this little offshoot took us to Mike. And the first right turn will be Delta.
Delta South American 3230.
And then we're going to hold short here.
Indy Tower 120.9.
120.9 for American 3231, see you.
And then after we cross 1-4, once we cross 1-4, the first right turn would be November. The second right turn would be Delta 1 on the runway. Melvin said I offered him $5 to clear me first. Well, you know, you got to keep the tradition going, especially around Thanksgiving, right?
Comanche 514 Delta Victor, cross runway 14 on Delta.
We'll cross runway 14 on Delta, 514 Delta Victor. Thought that cough was going away, but it seems to be rearing its ugly head again tonight. Hopefully get that cleared up and we'll be okay. Okay, well, we've made it across. And as I said, the first right will be November. We want to go ahead and roll on up here to the second right, and then we'll be short of our runway. Is that right here? This looks more like service road type width here. Yeah, that's a service road. Alright, and then if all goes well, then this is where we'll end up at the end of the night as well.
Thank you for an $94, C15, IFR, Hilo, Air.
$194, expect PDC.
Alright, here we go.
Comanche 514 Delta Victor, contact Indy Tower 120.9.
Alright, Indy Tower 20.9 or 514 Delta Victor. We'll see you, Tim.
Sure.
Alright, let's do a real quick run up. Up to 2,000. Flex the props down 1 time. 2 times. And 3 times. Alright, mix rich. Adjust back to exactly 2,000. Let's do a mag check, just the left side. Only 100 drop and back. And just the right side. Only 100 drop and back. Yeah, we're just finishing up the run up. We are ready to go. 514 Delta Victor.
November 514 Delta Victor, roger. Wind 120 at 5, turn left heading 135, runway 23 left, clear for takeoff.
Alright, 135 on the left turn and clear for takeoff, runway 23 left, 514 Delta Victor. Alright, so I'm going to reset my heading bug to that. Let's get strobes on, landing lights on. Fuel pump was left on because I left it on when we got the engine started, but it should be on for takeoff now anyway, and pitot heat now on. Alright, away we go. Alright, 80. Up and away. And leave the gear out until we are certain that we are not going to return to that pavement. started at 800. Once we get to 1200, we can go ahead and gear, flaps, and left turn. Alright, there we are. Gear, flaps, left turn. Let's edge the RPMs down. And the fuel pump can come off as well. Alright, 24 and 24. That rudder input out gently, and we've done that. And airborne at 35 after, more or less. Rolling out on that 135. And 3,000 is where we're headed.
514 Delta Victor, contact departure.
Well, the departure, 514 Delta Victor, we'll see it. Okay, switching to COM 2, 1905. Indy departure, Comanche 514 Delta Victor. We're 2,300 going to 3. Four and 24. Well, we'll try them again in a moment. 1905. That's what we're given, right?
Indy Center, 10 time 31, 15-5, send the vehicle to information out.
I got no answer there. Let's see if we check it on 2495.
Pullman approach on 128.025. Pullman approach 128.025 to the hotel room.
Indy departure, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, level of 3,000. We were given 1905, but nobody answered up over there. Voice system just dropped. I wonder if I'm still on VATSIM at all here. Am I still on stream? Stream's still up? Okay, thank you guys. I've disappeared from VATSIM radar. Yeah, I disappeared from VATSIM. It's like not even responding at all. Oh, there we go. Indy departure, Comanche 514 Delta Victor.
Southwest 3043, contact Indy approach 124.95.
4.9 or 5,
Alright, well, let's figure out where we are. This looks to be that Indy South Greenwood Airport. So just prior to Indy South Greenwood, or no, just past Indy South Greenwood is a highway, and we want to follow that highway to the south. I believe I saw that highway. So that goes that way, and that's what we're going to follow. So I think at this point we're outside the Charlie. We don't necessarily need to talk to to Indy, but let's see if we can get a hold of them. Indy approach, Comanche 514 Delta Victor.
Comanche 514 Delta Victor, Indy approach.
Yes, sir. We had a couple connection issues there, but looking for flight following if you're able. We're about 2 miles south of Indy South Greenwood Airport, 3000.
514 Delta Victor, Indy approach. Squawk 6611 and ident.
Alright, 6611, and we'll ident for you, 514 Delta Victor. 6611, and ident.
And the approach American 3231, request higher climb.
American 33, American 3231, you should be with Indy Center 128.22.
Apologies, that was the number handed over for 3231.
Yeah, I think I'm probably not the only one that had connection.
Your radar contact southeast of Greenwood. Contact Indy approach 124.95.
Alright, 2495, 514 Delta Victor, thanks. Okie doke. Over here we go. Indy approach Comanche 514 Delta Victor 3000.
Comanche 514 Delta Victor, ident.
Ident 514 Delta Victor. We're about 3-4 miles southeast of Greenwood Airport.
And November 514 Delta Victor, radar contact, it's 5 miles southeast of Greenwood Airport. Where are you headed to?
Yeah, if you're able to do flight following, we're down to Columbus 3000.
November 514 Delta Victor, roger, gotcha. Maintain VFR.
We'll maintain VFR 514 Delta Victor.
Yeah, Transit 71, we have Alpha 6.5, we're at 6000.
Okay, so
Last calling aircraft, take call time. Transit 71. Train con 71.
as long as we stick close to these roads, we will be east of the restricted airspace. We do expect that the TRACON controller will hand us to Columbus Tower prior to our arrival there, but just to make sure we have some sort of frame of reference as to when we are close to that. Of course, we can see this lake here. If we see this massive lake, we'll know that we're just about to enter that delta. The lake is down to the right. If we stay between these two highways, the lake is down to the right. So maybe that there, I'm not sure. But let's just... But it now is reconnected. Okay.
And Southwest 3483, airport should be at your 2 to 3 o'clock in 8 miles towards the airport site.
Okay, so we see that the NDB is ahead of us to our left. When it gets to be more left than ahead, we'll know that we're getting close to that delta. Let's start planning for our arrival there. Columbus Municipal BAK. First of all, let's see if they've got an ATIS information running. They do not seem to. BAK Towers 118.6. We'll get ready to talk to them. 18.6. Remember, we're transmitting and receiving on COM 2 right now. And do we have a...
71, turn right.
Don't have BAK ground, so we just have the tower there, 18.6.
Okay, right turn 140 down to 3000.
So, we've got that ready to go.
483 contact tower on 120.9.
20.9, pressure.
See you. And November 514 Delta Victor. How we going to get the airport site?
Yeah, it looks like we got it dead ahead, 12 o'clock.
Sorry, November 514 Delta Victor, contact Columbus Tower on 118.6.
Alright, 18.65 for Delta Victor, we'll see you. Columbus Tower, Comanche 514 Delta Victor. We're inbound about 5 miles from the north for full stop. Oops.
Sorry, aircraft calling standby.
I thought I was on the wrong radio for a second, but no, I was on the correct radio.
Okay, students here, pop, proceed on course, contact departure, have a good flight.
On course, this is 0.9.
Number 514 Delta Victor, Columbus Municipal Tower, good evening, enter straight in runway 14.
Alright, straight in runway 14, 514 Delta Victor.
Number 4 Delta Victor, current weather is wind 140 at 5, visibility 10, altimeter 3003.
Alright, we copy. Thank you. 514 Delta Victor. Alright. So Peter says the stream also dropped for a minute. Okay. Interesting. It might be on my end then. Alright, in order to get more on a straight in, kind of veer off to the right here. We're going to watch the
Victor, wind 140 at 5, runway 14, clear to land.
Clear to land 14, 514 Delta Victor. Alright, let's start spinning the props up. Help us slow down. And let's start getting gear and flaps out, and let's start getting some predictions into the chat as far as the vertical descent rate at the moment the wheels touch runway surface. There's no bot command that's necessary for that, just a number into the chat, positive or negative. We'll know that you meet a descent rate either way. And whoever is closest gets an automatic entry into our landing rate raffle.
Skyhawk 456 requesting.
Okay, White Arc, we can get flaps in.
Is that Sierra Hotel 456?
Affirm.
Sorry, what's your request?
Taxi to runway 14.
Alright, we land on 14.
Would you like a VFR departure or?
We'll go to the south apron, so we'll roll it past the intersection and exit to the right.
And what's your destination of flight, sir? Or direction?
Our destination is Bloomington.
Okay, westbound VFR, understood. Stand by. Actually, Sierra Hotel 456 ground just came up. Contact him on 121.905.
121.905.
Get that tuned in and ready to go. Alright, we got the first notch of flaps in. We got the props full forward, mix full rich. We can go ahead and get our fuel pump on. And field elevation 656. So we're basically at pattern elevation right now. Doesn't look like we have any kind of glide slope indication lights, so we'll kind of just eyeball the descent. Right now it looks like we're okay on the angle. So yeah, we're going to park down at the south apron, which is apparently this larger hangars down here at the bottom. Alright, let's get the nose up slightly. One more notch of flaps to come in. Feel like we might be a little bit high. Nice long runway, though. 5,000 feet, that's plenty for us. Heck, half of that's plenty for us. Alright, let's go with the final notch of flaps in. Alright, past the crossing, and then the next right turn. We're crabbed a little bit over to the right, so as we get to short final, we'll lower the right wing just a touch. Counter that with just a little bit of left rudder. Yeah, we're still kind of coming in nose down here, so let's back off the speed and just transition into a nice flare and let her settle in. Okay.
Reggie 4 Delta Victor, welcome to Columbus Municipal, exit right 18.
And we'll make the next right after the crossing runway, 514 Delta Victor.
Delta Victor, roger, contact ground 121.905.
Alright, 2195, 514 Delta Victor, thanks. Alright, we'll get clear and clean. We'll go ahead and switch over. And we're at Bravo and Alpha. Flaps, strobe, landing,
Victor for clearance, contact 124.
pitot, and fuel pump.
Okay, 124.905, 1 Charlie Victor, thanks.
And Skyhawk 456, contact the tower 118 point, sorry, monitor the tower 118.6.
Monitor tower, Tower, Skyhawk 456.
And ground Comanche 514 Delta Victor's off of 14 Alpha and Bravo going to the south apron.
Delta Victor, welcome to Columbus, the Alpha to the south apron. Have a good one.
Alright, Alpha to south apron. We'll talk to you in a few. 514 Delta Victor, thanks. Alright. Leg number 1 complete. Within hour number 1. Voice is still trying to go. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second. We'll take the Diva parking up next to the control tower. And then we'll figure out what the plan for leg number 2 looks like. Oh, and that's got 1,000 RPMs going, but let's lean the mix right to the point where it starts to drop. Okay, there we are. Parking brake is on. Peter says, I should learn some VFR stuff around where I live. This looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, I tell you what, man. You know, flying airliners is great, fun challenge. They're very complicated. It's a sense of accomplishment when you master them. But to fly something simple opens up so many different destinations that you can go to. I mean, when you fly in airliners, you're going to the same basic, 30 airports in the country all the time. And it's easy to fall into those traps of just doing the same thing over and over again. So when you fly general aviation, it doesn't necessarily have to be VFR, by the way. You can fly general aviation IFR too. But either way, when you fly a lot of general aviation, and you really just get opened up to going to all these different places, and you can come up with whatever theme you want. You can visit college towns, you can track your college football team, your favorite college football team, to its various destinations, or you can,
back on ground.
you can visit locations from movies. There's just so many different things you can do with all of the different destinations that get opened up when you're not locked into the same international airports all the time. This is the event, by the way. Pumpkin Pine Patterns, Indy, BAK is Columbus, BMG is Bloomington, HUF is Terre Haute, and then back to Indy. So our next one is going to be Columbus to Bloomington. Now, we landed on 1-4, so we're probably going to depart 1-4. We are still, though, going to need to make sure we go south prior to turning west and headed toward Bloomington, because we have this restricted airspace just south of Himsel Army Airfield that we need to avoid. Now, do we have a VOR nearby that we can use as a guideline? Well, actually, yeah, we do. We got a VOR right there at Bloomington.
All right, 3-1 Charlie Victor. I have your clearance. I've had very copy.
So it looks like.
I'm ready to copy for 1 Charlie Victor. All right,
let's blank this out and let's just do this.
To the Charlotte Airport via radar vector DOCOs in its file.
It looks like if we stay.
410, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is.
So this is a 268. That means this radial that comes off of here is a 268 168 right? So if we join a 090 radial, and what's the distance? 090 radial, and what was the distance? 29. So 090 and 30 miles.
Readback is correct. Advise when you have the weather.
So let's just plot that point. It's the Hoosier VOR
you can't get it,
OOM 090-030.
Oh, we don't have it needed.
Oh, okay, yeah, actually, I'll take it from you for 1 Charlie Victor.
Alright, 1 Charlie Victor.
Oops.
Alright, 1 Charlie Victor, automated weather as of 0045 Zulu. Wind is calm, visibility 10.
Overcast.
So if we tune in the 08, we can even go 085. It looks like.
Under 3003.
If we tune in the 085, and then we just make sure we stay left of that, like it's going to show that we're right of course. We kind of navigate toward it, but we stay left of where the needle centers, and that means we're going to manage to miss the restricted airspace here. So no matter what happens, we'll continue to fly southbound until that needle shows to the right, and then we'll go from there.
Which apron is that?
We keep getting private messages. If you visit all of the featured airports, you're eligible for a special Discord role on their Discord, which is a nice offer. I'm not on their Discord, however. But yeah, that's we've gotten that same private message from 2 of the towers now. Peter says, I'm from France. Not too many college football teams around here, but okay, fair. But I mean, you can develop a flight plan of one of any number of things, you know, that's not limited to the same international airports. But yeah, I mean, you understood what I was trying to get to. Oh yeah. I guess I do need to tell you guys who the winner was, huh? Yeah, sorry about that, guys. No, it was nice and buttery, but it did indeed register. Nice low number. Sorry, you guys are just listening to me yammer on as usual. 36 was the number that registered when we sat down. So how did we do with the your all's predictions? 36 was the number. 69, 65, 71, 80, 33 from Kitty Monster. That was 3 away. And do we have anybody from between 36 and 39? We got 43 from Iowa Scotsman. No, Kitty Monster. Kitty Monster deviated from his normal number and picked up a win there. Nice work.
Ramp via Delta. Ramp via Delta 145.
Okay, where are we? BAK. On 11:24, I think it is. Yep, okay, very good. Yeah, very good. Sorry about that, guys. I spaced out totally. I'm so focused on getting the VFR plan together for this the second leg.
Where am I?
So focused on getting the VFR plan together for the second leg that I totally forgot we hadn't technically finished the first one. So we want to tune in this VOR 110.2 and a 085, right? 110.2. We're already on 110.3, so I'll swap that, tune it, and swap it back. And then a 085, but we're going to tune that outbound. So we're going to tune it to a 265, so it shows us how to get toward that VOR. 140 is the runway heading of the runway that we just landed on, so we'll leave that like it is. Doesn't look like we're receiving that VOR just yet, so that probably won't be the case until we get airborne. It's about 30 miles away, so that's kind of expected. Let's take a moment to make sure that our instruments are calibrated. 085 is parked, yeah, we're parked at that direction, so that's now calibrated. And then the altimeter here, .3003, which I think is pretty much what we got set. Yep, 3003 would be 1 notch up. The field elevation, I think we said 650, and that's pretty much what's showing. Okay, flaps can be reset for departure, and trim can be reset to neutral. And so our goal is just to fly southbound until we pass that radial, and then we can kind of do whatever we want heading westbound. Once we're heading westbound, we're not in danger of any airspace that we shouldn't be in. These are all military operation areas, but you're allowed to be in those. You're just encouraged to get flight following, and we will be having flight following, so we'll be okay there. Yeah, so good. We're on the ground frequency. 2195, towers 18.6, so we've already got that set, and then 2495 was our departure frequency. So yeah, I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and reset our squawk here. 1200. We are still in mode Charlie, right? We are walking mode C. Okay, good. And yeah, let's go ahead and ring them up. We're at the south apron looking for VFR westbound departure. Where are we? Columbus? Columbus ground, Comanche 514, Delta Victor. We are looking for a taxi for a VFR westbound departure.
The 514 Delta Victor.
I didn't tell him where we were.
Roger, what's your aircraft type?
We're at Comanche, Papa Alpha 24. Sorry I didn't tell you where we are. We're south apron, parked right under the tower.
For Delta Victor, Roger, standby.
And you think, well, why do you have to tell them where you are? They can see that on their scope. Well, if they're simulating operations at a VFR tower,
And,
they're not looking at a scope. They're looking out the window. If available, yeah, we'll... You ready to dial that in? We loaded up with 25 gallons apiece. So we're still showing 20 gallons apiece. Nothing in the tips today, but we got plenty of fuel for 4 hours of streaming. Did that work? I'm never certain if that works when I do it from the bot. There we go. Good fixings. Got us taken care of. It didn't? Okay, thank you.
I'm having trouble with the radar, sir. What's wrong? I lost the bleeps.
Right.
I lost the sweeps. I've lost the creeps. The what? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps. The sweeps. And the creeps. It's not all he's lost.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Let's ground Comanche 514 Delta Victor.
4 Delta Victor, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think I might have lost connection to voice there for a second. What information did you still need from us?
I need your destination and your requested altitude.
Yeah, we're 3,000 westbound to Bloomington.
Alright, no 514 Delta Victor. Squawk 1451, advise ready taxi.
1451, and we are ready to go. 514 Delta Victor.
514 Delta Victor, runway 14, taxi via Alpha Bravo across 23 on Bravo, and advise if you have the weather.
Yep, we do have the weather. We're going to 14 via Alpha and Bravo. We'll cross runway 23 on Bravo. 514 Delta Victor.
Columbus ground, Bonanza, November 114 Whiskey Papa, ready for taxi VFR departure to the west. Also headed to Bloomington 3000, like flight following if available.
So northbound on Alpha, and then when we get up to the fork in the right here, we're going to left.
No, 114 Whiskey Papa, sorry, you're going to have to say that again for me.
114 Whiskey Papa at the south apron.
114 Whiskey Papa. I'll have what he's having.
VFR departure to the west. Also to Bloomington at 3000 with flight following if available.
Alright, 114 Whiskey Papa, what's your aircraft type?
Aircraft type is a Bonanza Bravo Echo 36 slant golf.
Alright, he told us across.
114 Whiskey
But
Papa,
just
Roger.
to double check, we'll throw some eyes out. Everything is looking good.
14 Whiskey Papa, clock 5546. Advise if you have the weather, and runway 14, taxi via Alpha Bravo, cross 23 on Bravo.
Alright, squawk 5546, we have the weather, and 14 via Alpha Bravo will cross 23 on Bravo.
Alrighty, friends. Towers 18.6. And remember, we're southbound until we pass this radial, which hasn't popped in yet. It's not going to until we're airborne. But we got to be on the south side of that radial before we turn westbound.
514 Delta Victor, monitor the tower on 118.6 today.
We'll monitor 18.6, 514 Delta Victor. Thanks. Sorry for the connection issues.
Nah, you can.
Or 514 Delta Victor, Compass Tower.
514 Delta Victor, we just got over.
Beautiful. Would you like to run up?
Yeah, we're going to need a minute.
Alright, 4 Delta Victor, advise run complete.
We'll go. 514 Delta Victor, thanks. Alrighty. Let's hold the brakes in. Let's take her up to 2,000. Props will come down 3 times. Once. Twice. And I leave the mixed lean for this part, and that way this doubles as our prop check, but it also helps to burn off any carbon that might have built up on those plug tips. And now we'll go full rich. Calibrate to 2,000. Let's do our mag check. Right one only dropped 100 and back. Left one only 100 and back. We are good. At Tower 514 Delta Victor, short of 14. We are ready.
Or 514 Delta Victor, winds calm. Runway 1, actually, yeah, winds calm. Make right crosswind departure to the west. Runway 14, good for takeoff.
14 clear for takeoff, right crosswind. Just for your planning purposes, we're just going to go straight out a few miles to make sure we pass the restricted airspace first.
Alright, that's approved as requested.
Alright, straight out approved, 514 Delta Victor.
Or 4 Whiskey Papa, Columbus Tower, good evening. Do you need to run up today?
No, we did that earlier. We should be good. 4 Whiskey Papa.
Okay, overshot the center line. Got the lights, strobe lights, fuel pump, and pitot heat. And we'll go ahead and set our takeoff power. Okay, airspeed's 80 knots, or 80 miles an hour, really. We'll hold on the gear until we are certain that we're not going to need to return to pavement. Okay, we're out of pavement. Gear.
We're only 14 line of weight.
Gear coming up.
Wait, 14.
And as we get through 400 AGL, which would be in another 50 feet here, we'll go ahead and pull the flaps in, power down.
Delta Victor, proceed on course, contact departure, have a great flight.
All on course and contact departure, 514 Delta Victor. We'll see you. Okay, flaps in, 2424. And fuel pump off, and yet that's another message from the tower controller. Into departure, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is just off of Columbus, on a straight out 16,000.
Or Delta Victor still with tower.
Sorry, and we're not at 16,000 either, but we'll switch over to the 514 Delta Victor, sorry.
It's alright, nobody heard it. That frequency is 124.95.
Yeah, nobody heard it except everybody on my stream. Into departure, Comanche 514 Delta Victor 2000.
Comanche 514 Delta Victor, I did.
Right, well, on net, and we're just off of Columbus. I know. Good Fixin's heard it. Everybody on tower frequency heard it. Everybody on stream heard it. 16,000.
November 514 Delta Victor, radar contact 3 miles southeast of Columbus. Maintain VFR.
We will maintain VFR, 514 Delta Victor. Love Francis says, how do you know what to say? It's the same format really everywhere. You start with your call, you start with their call sign, and then you say your call sign. So, Indianapolis departure, 514 Delta Victor. Then you say where you are and how high you are. So in our case, 2 miles south of Columbus Airport, 2,000 climbing to 3,000. And then you, if you need to say your intentions, you say your intentions. If the controller already has your intentions, then you don't need to say that part. But it's basically that flow every time. Their call sign, your call sign, where are you, how high are you, and what are you doing? I've got a set of tutorials on my YouTube channel there, Love Francis. If you look at the link on the lower left-hand side of the screen there.
Departure Bonanza November 145. That's just at a Columbus Regional, climbing 3,500 for 3,000.
So if you want to pull up that YouTube channel, there's a playlist called VATSIM Tutorials. And one of them is, kind of a primer for how to communicate with ATC. It gives you kind of the basics there. And it walks through some other examples, some different scenarios that all follow that same flow. Their call sign, your call sign, where are you, what do you want to do? So it gives you some different examples to work through. Alright, so we are left of that radial now, and we're counting down 34.9 miles in inbound. I can get let's get the power back up to 22 and 22. And we'll trim down so I can get back to that 3,000. There we go. We can lean the mix out a little bit.
Indy departure low, Delta 781, passing 4,000, 5,000, heading 210.
Alright, so 22, 22, leaned to 14 gallons an hour. And we're trimming for 3,000. Airspeed settling in. We're progressing westbound. We're staying to the left of that radial, and I'll show you why in a moment. And we're 32 miles and counting down to our destination. So Francis says, I've been trying to learn Microsoft Flight Simulator on my gaming platform. Graphics are really good. I'm sure I got the hang of it. I'll check out the YouTube. Well, if you're on a console, the only bad news is that you won't be able to connect to VATSIM. So, I mean, obviously the simulator, has computer-generated ATC, so you'll kind of have a means to practice talking to controllers, although they won't be real humans. But to connect to this network where you've got real humans talking to you, that's the VATSIM network, and that's something that you won't be able to connect to from the console. You'd have to connect to from a PC version of that game. But that almost makes it easier. If you're brand new to the idea of realistic aviation, that almost makes it easier, because with it being just computer-generated ATC, there's really no pressure to get it right, and you're not disrupting anybody if you mess it up, and so on and so forth. Jake from Area 251's back with us. Jake, good to see you. But yeah, if at any point you're able to get Flight Simulator for a PC, then you can look into connecting to VATSIM. Jake soloed this weekend. Awesome, dude. Excellent news. Oh my goodness, we got the rain coming in from 757 Spy. Spy, how you doing, my friend? Thank you very kindly for the continued support. What a rush indeed, Jack. I can't imagine.
Contact approach on 123.95.
Everybody coming over from the Spy Raid, welcome. Good to see you. We are doing a little bit of VFR flying down here in the Indianapolis region. Indianapolis has a little event going on tonight called Pumpkin Pie and Patterns, so we're doing a circuit. We went from Indy to Columbus. We're now doing Columbus out to Bloomington. We're going to go all the way around. But we're VFR. We're in the Piper Comanche, the A2A Simulations Piper Comanche, doing a little single-engine piston general aviation style. We do see some traffic down here to our right. We're gonna maintain visual separation from them. Looks like they're a little lower than us. We're at 3,000. We can see that they're a little lower. They're off to our right, and they're also a little slower. I am simulating that I don't have any kind of a tablet or ADS-B or whatever here in the cockpit, so I could cheat and look on VATSIM radar, see who they are and what they are. But I won't.
Approach. Good evening.
But yeah, we're basically, oh, and I said, the reason we're staying to the left of that radial is that radial, this magenta line, represents that 265 radial into Bloomington. So in order for me to make sure I stay left of this restricted airspace, I was like, well, I better stay left of this radial, huh? So that's keeping me out of this this chunk of airspace that I need not be in. But at this point, we're also staying left of this other traffic here. I don't want to find myself in conflict with them.
Good evening,
So Good Fixin' said I made a mess of that departure. I didn't finish a crosswind turn. I had to avoid you. Went above my planned altitude. Didn't have the VOR set up properly, and just a calamity of errors. That's okay. I'm telling everybody I'm at 1,600 when I'm at 1,600. So, you know, between the two of us, we've got one competent pilot between us.
Delta 1412, contact on 123.9.
Kind of lost sight of that traffic that we were passing. Oh, there they are. We got the Heathinator with the follow.
1412, contact approach on 128.6.
We got PhD Halo stopping in.
3.95.
Alright, I expect that we're well west of that, well, we might be just about, right? If we put a mark here, right-click and plan, 21 miles, and guess how far we are from the VOR right now? Just less than 21 miles. So at this point, we can turn up to the north if we want. I mean, we can see this big lake up here, see the smaller lake ahead of us. These visual clues tell us that we are indeed past the end of that restricted airspace. However, we do still have traffic over here. I don't want to cut in front of their path like too aggressively.
Indianapolis approach, Church 2324 kilo, 3,500 feet, 28 miles west of Indianapolis. Full stop.
Love Francis says, my grandpa was a naval aviator during World War II. Mine as well. Interesting. Mine was assigned to the USS Bogue in the Atlantic, and his squadron was one of the most prolific sub-hunting squadrons in the Atlantic Theater. He flew. He trained on Corsairs, and then on the Bogue he flew either Wildcats or Hellcats. He flew Wildcats and Hellcats during his deployments. I don't know which one he was on the Bogue with. But he did his training up in Cape May, New Jersey, and primarily in Corsairs, and then they switched over to Wildcats and then over to Hellcats, and then went out to sea during the war on the Bogue.
Hey, firm 119.05.
Alright, let's start getting set up for our arrival into Monroe County, aka Bloomington. And official call sign is indeed Bloomington Tower, Bloomington Tower, Bloomington Ground. Let's see if they've got an ATIS information running there. We can go ahead and grab that.
Approach Delta 1190, we're level at 13,000, requesting clear. Delta 1195 back, you can contact center on...
They do not have an ATIS information there. So we'll check in with them and see. We can get a weather report. KBMG 1504, so
Good evening, Indy
seems likely that they're going to be using 17.
X-ray 2,500, runway heading out of runway 14.
That's the case. We're going to turn off to the left.
X-ray, radar contact 5 miles southeast of the airport. Maintain VFR.
Maintain VFR. Skywagon 5 Lima X-ray.
Southwest 92 contact approach on 123.95.
21-7 2077.
3,500. November 222 Hotel Lima.
21-7
on 119.5. 119.5 221. Ready to go.
All right. And we're 11 miles out. Let's see if our approach controller wants us to go ahead and contact Bloomington Tower.
November 781 Bravo Zulu cleared direct to Columbus. Cleared direct to Columbus.
Indy approach 90171, descending 15,000, descending via indicator 4.
9171 Indianapolis approach, good evening. Expect visual 23 left.
So expect visual 23 left, United 171.
Approach Comanche 514 Delta Victor requesting a frequency change.
Uh, 514 Delta Victor, I'm just about to hand you off. Stand by one.
Field elevation there is what? 846.
And was that Southwest 985?
Southwest 7276.
Alright, stand by one. November 514 Delta Victor, contact, arrival on 125.45.
Alright, 2545, 514 Delta Victor.
And November 114 Whiskey Papa, contact, approach on 1.
The approach Comanche 514 Delta Victor's 2,800 standing.
November 514 Delta Victor, contact Bloomington Tower 120.77.
Alright, 20.77, 514 Delta Victor. That's what I thought I would have done. Bloomington Tower, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is about 6 miles east, 2,600 descending.
November
Number 514 Delta Victor, Bloomington Tower. Hello, good evening. Wind 1504, altimeter 3002, clear the left downwind for 17.
All right, 30 go 2, entering a left downwind for 17, 514 Delta Victor. All right. Bring it in just a little bit closer, and then we'll turn up to the north.
Tower, Bonanza,
17.
Papa, 7.5 miles to the east, descending out of 300.
And Bonanza 114 Whiskey Papa, Bloomington Tower. Hello, good evening.
And it's
downwind for runway 17. Wind is 1504, altimeter 3002.
800 is the field elevation, so 1800 is pattern elevation. You can see the airport to our left.
Not already given to you. Runway 17, you're clear for the option.
Runway 17 clear for the option, Bruce 1. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start spinning the props up a little
Runway 17.
faster, help us get slowed down. We can get gear out in time if we need to slow down, so we'll go ahead and do that.
Number 514 Delta Victor. The traffic you're going to follow is currently in a left base for runway 17.
I got the one on short final. I don't see the one on the left base.
For Delta Victor, that should be him. He's now on short final.
All right, we see him. 514 Delta Victor. Okay, well that's good. Alright, we're below the white arc. We get the first notch of flaps, and you guys can start putting some predictions into the chat as far as the vertical descent rate at the moment the wheel touch runway surface. No bot command necessary for that, just a number into the chat, positive or negative. We'll know that you mean a descent rate either way. And the closest predictor gets an automatic entry into our monthly landing rate raffle. Okay, we don't yet have our landing clearance, but it was very much implied that we can go ahead and turn in behind the traffic that we're following.
And Brisky 1, traffic is off your nose, Piper Comanche, extended left base 417. We got the traffic side, Brisky 1. Brisky 1, roger, follow that traffic. We'll follow traffic, Brisky 1.
Yeah, so we're going to keep our speed up just a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and get the fuel pump on, even though we don't have the landing clearance yet, just so I don't forget. We are good to go. Everything on there. Second notch of flaps in. And we'll go ahead and turn final. We're a little high still. Plenty of runway. But if we drop some altitude during the base to final turn, we should be okay. And then let's start planning on slowing down as well.
514 Delta Victor, state intentions. Is this a touch and go? Or
We'll make this a full stop. 514 Delta Victor.
514 Delta Victor, roger. Runway 17, clear to land.
Clear to land 17, 514 Delta Victor. Still a little high and fast. Final notch of flaps in. Let's go ahead and get down on a good glide path, and then we'll work on the speed.
Runway 17, clear.
17 for the option number 2, Brewski 1.
And Brewski 2, you still have your company System 172 traffic in sight?
Affirm, Brewski 2.
Brewski 2, continue to follow them. Runway 17, you're clear for the option number 3.
Clear for the option number 3, Brewski 2.
November 114 Whiskey Papa, traffic is off your nose in the extended left downwind for runway 17, that's the 172.
We're getting traffic in sight. 140 Papa.
Alright, let's bring it around into a
Traffic, is this a full stop? We'll
nice,
follow
easy
traffic
flare
in.
with the
Full stop.
smooth reduction of power.
4 Whiskey Papa, Roger, wind 1504, runway 17, clear to land number 3. Clear to land, runway 17, number 3.
Okay, pretty happy with that. I slightly over-controlled the flare, but I was still pretty happy with that.
There, 514 Delta Victor, welcome to Bloomington, contact ground point 7, lovely to have you.
Alright, ground point 7, 514 Delta Victor, thanks. Bloomington ground, Comanche 514 Delta Victor's off of 17 at, I think it's Alpha 3. We're parking over near the tower.
KHBE 514 Delta Victor, moving to ground. You text parking straight ahead. Happy night.
Alright, straight ahead, and we'll talk to you in a few. 514 Delta Victor. Yeah, we keep getting the direct message sound. Beep, beep, beep. And that's each of these towers has messaged us the link and the information about visiting all 4 of the featured airports for a special Discord role in their Discord server, in the Indianapolis ARTCC Discord server. I'm not a member of that server, but we've got one more place to visit, and then we'll be eligible for whatever that special role is, so maybe I should join their server. And we can lean the mix out to the point where it's just about to drop. There we go. I always like the Diva parking right by the tower. Beethoven's here. How are you? Miss anybody? I think I've said hi to everybody, but if I've missed anybody, I apologize. Alright, let's get spun around. And right there, that'll do. That'll do, pig.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Oh, looks like I dropped off a V-pilot again. Alright, well, let me get a snip of the landing rate real quick, and then I can get that out of the way, and we'll get V-pilot opened back up. So yeah, 64 was the number that registered. We'll see how we did with your predictions here in just a moment. Having a lot of trouble maintaining a connection to VATSIM tonight, so not sure what's going on with that. Anyway, where were we in terms of the prediction? What did I say? It was 64. I've already gotten it off the screen. I think it was 64. We had 47, 29, 81, 43, 33, 54. So 54 from Jake. That's 10 away. On the top end, you would have had to have been 74 or lower. I think the closest on the top end was 81. So unless I'm misreading that, I believe I said that the number was 64, and that means Jake's 54 is the closest. It looks like we are back on VATSIM now. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that, guys. That's a first. The stream connection seems to be fairly stable, knock on wood. The VATSIM connection to that has been really suspect, but doesn't sound like anyone else is having those issues. So I will truck.
Bonanza 114 Papa. It's clear of 17.
I will chalk that up to my provider's end, I guess. I don't know.
Papa, Bloomington ground, taxi to
Beethoven says, wherever I go, I meet the same suspects. Fixie, Brant, and Iowa Scotsman. Yeah, we tend to run in the same circles, that's for sure. Where are we? KBAK on 1124. All right, friends, leg number 3 is up next. And again, it's the Indianapolis ARTCC hosting Pumpkin Pie and Patterns. These 4 airports, Indy, Columbus, Bloomington, and Terre Haute. We started here, we went here, we're now here, we're now going to head here, and then we're going to head back.
Yeah, Brewski 2, we're southbound now.
So BMG, blank this out, BMG
Alpha 3 to Park King, Brewski.
to Terre Haute. So a 37-mile leg on a 304. So we'll just dead reckon that. It doesn't really look like there's much. We've got numerous small lakes we can navigate to. That doesn't really help us. We can, I mean, once we see we're near some lakes, we'll be like, oh, I guess we're near some lakes. We've got the Cagles Mill Lake up here to the right. We can kind of judge our position off of that, perhaps. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot more navigation we can do, visually speaking. We don't really have... We got this power line up here to the north. They're a little hard to spot in the sim sometimes. We do have this highway here that crosses right before we get to the airport, but in terms of wanting a reference to know when we're coming up on that delta, I mean, I guess the best we can do, we can tune Terre Haute VOR. It's not exactly located at the airport, but it should count down similarly, so when we're, you know, 6 or 7 miles from the VOR, coming from this angle, you know, we're also 6 or 7 miles from the airport. So, so yeah, I mean, unless we wanted to come up to the north, come over the Cagles Hill Lake, and then come in over Clay County, that might be, you know what, that might be a better plan. I think we'll have a better sense navigating visually. Of course, like I said, we can always use the VOR, but really, if you're navigating visually, you want to be able to look out the window and see where you are and be able to correlate that to where you are in the chart. That's what visual navigation is really supposed to be about. Not that you shouldn't use all the information available to you in the cockpit, but, you know, again, if you're really, really practicing what you are doing as in terms of visual navigation, then this is kind of the way we should do it. And we could try to navigate to these quote-unquote numerous small lakes, but I think Cagles Mill will be a much more distinctive landmark for us to use. So when we depart 17, let's just call our path northwest bound. And so see if we get a right-hand turnout, like a right downwind or a right crosswind, and then come up. Once we get clear of the pattern area, then we can turn on course here to about a 332, 20 miles, and then west 20 miles to Terre Haute. So that'll be the plan. Let's do that. So let's spin through the prep and make sure the aircraft is ready to do that. All right, we'll re-neutralize the trim. We got the flaps stowed, but we'll put 1 notch out for departure. Okay, trim is neutral. Let's corroborate our magnetic compass with a directional gyro. We're parked at about a 006, and this does drift gradually out of precession, so you do, or out of alignment rather, precesses. It drifts out of alignment, it precesses out of alignment, it doesn't drift out of precession. But every now and then you got to wind that back a few degrees to get it back into alignment with your mag compass there, so we've done that. And then what's the field elevation? 846. Yeah, we're showing pretty close to that, so I think we're okay there. Alright. Let's see if we can go ahead and get taxied out for a departure. 21.7 and 20.77, those are the local frequencies. 25.45 is who we were last talking to in terms of departure or approach. Let's go ahead and set this back to 1200 since we're on the ground now. We will most likely get a new squawk code, but for right now we're just VFR. So we'll squawk accordingly. And I think we're ready to go. And we're at Bloomington. Let me see if I can shake this little scratch in my throat. That seems to never want to go away. I got this cold, what, 3 weeks ago? Good gracious. Bloomington ground, Comanche 514 Delta Victor.
Comanche 514 Delta Victor, Bloomington ground.
Yes, sir. We're over on the east ramp looking for VFR, we'll call it northwestbound departure, and would like flight following if it's available.
Comanche 4 Delta Victor, do you have a destination in mind and requested cruising altitude?
Yeah, we are going to be a Papa Alpha 24 Comanche. We're expecting 3,000, and destination will be Terre Haute.
Comanche 4 Delta Victor, 5507, and your departure frequency will be 125.45.
Alright, 5507, 2545, 514 Delta Victor. We are ready to taxi.
November 514 Delta Victor, the wind 1504, altimeter 3002, runway 17, taxi via Alpha.
Copy the wind, and 17 via Alpha, 514 Delta Victor. Alright, copy the weather, I guess I should have said, because we got the altimeter as well. 3002 is already what we got set, and we already verified field elevation was showing properly, so we're all good there on all counts. Alright, we appear to be we appear not to be in conflict with any other ground traffic, so we'll go ahead and roll on out.
And Comanche 4 Delta Victor, you contact Bloomington Tower 120.77. Have a great night.
We'll contact to 120.77, 514 Delta Victor. We'll see it. Yeah, looks like we got somebody on base to final. Bloomington Tower, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, rolling up on 17. We're going to pull off onto the pad and do a run-up real quick.
November 514 Delta Victor, roger that. You just advise me when you are ready to go home short 17.
Alright, we'll go. 514 Delta Victor, thanks. Alright, so the pad's not really marked the way it should be, but we'll kind of squeeze through the lights here. We'll watch our colleagues' arrival. Everybody judge, critique. Very nice. Very smooth, very stable. Alright, let's go and run the RPMs up. I'm going to leave the mix leaned out for this part so we can burn off any carbon that built up on the plug tips. High power and low mixture helps you burn off those carbon deposits. So if you've fouled your plug, as they call it, by running it at low power for too long on the ramp, this is a way you can do that. I could just combine that with the prop lever check. Okay, that's run full mix now, and let's take it back to 2000. We'll check the left mag only, make sure it doesn't drop any more than about 100, and okay, it drops almost exactly that, and goes back. And the other mag. Yep, so the RPM drop on a single mag is 100 RPMs, which is kind of what's expected, so we are good to go.
November 3-4 Foxtrot, on the go, fly runway heading. 3-4 Foxtrot, you can climb between 3,000.
And Tower Comanche 514 Delta Victor Shorter 17, ready?
November 3-4 Foxtrot, runway 17, cleared, touch and go.
I can barely hear that guy.
514 Delta Victor, hold short 17.
We'll hold short 514 Delta Victor. Can't really see him if he's turning base kind of through the upper portion of the door here. Then we wouldn't be able to see him. I cannot hear that guy at all. Just to recap, though, we're going to take off northwestbound is our goal. About a 332, so let's do this while we got a minute. Get the runway heading set to 17.
November 3-4 Foxtrot, you can contact Holman departure 125.45. Good evening.
And then about a 330 is going to be our on course once we get cut loose here.
Comanche 514 Delta Victor, VFR right northwestbound. Departure is approved. Right turn out. Wind 150 at 4, running 17, clear for takeoff.
Alright, right turn out to a northwestbound on course departure approved and clear for takeoff 17, 514 Delta Victor. Strobe, landing lights, pitot, and fuel pump. I'm so sorry about the voice, guys. I mean, we've been battling this for weeks, haven't we? I really thought it was starting to clear up. I was starting to feel and sound better. Actually, our stream the other night, Friday night,
Bloomington Tower.
I feel like my voice sounded much better.
17, we'll be ready to get there.
Alright, well, anyway, let's rock and roll. Takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. 80 mph, let's go. We're going to hold the gear until we are certain we don't need to return to that pavement. Elevation 850. So at 1250 we'll start the right turn. Gear, flaps, fuel pump, and power. And the turn. 24 and 24. Let's very, very gently get that rudder input out.
November 114 Whiskey Papa, runway 17, clear for takeoff. CFR northwest bound departure approved.
Check clear for takeoff 17, VFR northwest bound departure approved.
Number 514 Delta Victor, contact Holman departure 125.45. Good evening to you.
2545, 514 Delta Victor. We'll see you. Yeah, Florida 2017 says my wife's having the same issue with that coughing. Yeah, it seemed like it was better, and then just seems to be back today. Get that rudder input gently out. Okay, yeah, nosed over just a touch, but we're on our 330 heading. We got airborne at 8:57-ish. Switch over to COM 2. 24 and 24. Did I get the flaps in? Yeah, I did. And the fuel pump, did I get that off? Yeah, I did. Departure Comanche 514 Delta Victor 2600 going to 3.
Comanche 514 Delta Victor.
Hey, firm, Comanche 514 Delta Victor 2000. Well, we're basically leveling off at 3000 now. Just departed from Bloomington.
November 514 Delta Victor, ident, maintain VFR, full navigation.
I went the ident for you, and we'll maintain VFR on navigation 514 Delta Victor.
And Holman departure, Bonanza 114 is Papa, just out of Bloomington, climbing through 2000 for 3000.
November 114 Whiskey Papa, ident.
Ident, where's Papa?
November 514 Delta Victor, radar contact 3 miles northwest of Bloomington Airport.
514 Delta Victor, roger.
November Charlie Foxtrot Uniform Lima, Quebec. Contact Indy approach 119.05.
Heading towards Holden.
Beethoven 1102 had a long day and is direct to Bravo Echo Delta. That's a good destination, man. So have a good one. Appreciate you stopping by.
Maintain VFR navigation. Charlie Foxtrot Uniform Lima.
Alright, so we're 22 miles rather.
November 114.
And we're looking for this Kegels Mill Lake.
2 miles northwest of Bloomington Airport.
Kind of feel like that's it there. But just to confirm, we were at 8:57 Eastern Time.
3,100 5831 reporting site.
Alright, we got the traffic in sight, and we'll maintain VFR and zoom on navigation 145.
Number 4 Whiskey Papa, maintain visual separation from that aircraft.
So, you know, we're 170 miles an hour. That's approximately 150 knots, which happens to be about 2.5 nautical miles per minute. So if we're going 22 miles, then that's how many minutes. Let's see if we can do it in our heads here. If it was 9 miles, then it would be 18 and then 4.5. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.5. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. 9 minutes. I think I said miles, but minutes is what I meant. 9 minutes. So 9 times 2.5 is 22.5. So if we took off at 8:57, we should be passing over that lake at 9:06 or thereabouts. Again, I do think visually we've got it in sight. The plan then is to bang a left turn there, due west, and then straight into Terre Haute. Now Terre Haute, I think they do have an ATIS there at Terre Haute. See if we can pull that up. HUF is the identifier there. Holman. That's what we were hearing this approach controller be called, Holman. So Holman Tower, is that what it's called on the... Yeah, Holman Tower. Who knew? I don't think I've ever once been here in the sim. Definitely not in real world, but I don't think I've ever been once been here in the sim either. So Holman Tower, we're talking a Holman approach. Wind is calm, and altimeter is 3,000. Landing and departing 5 and 14. So they're landing and departing the 2 eastbound runways, basically. Oh. Altitude slipped a little bit. Get it back up to 3. So, communication-wise, it looks like the tower...
Approaches, not up 10-0, flight level 25,000.
3472, so we'll have that tuned and ready. 3472. And we're transmitting and receiving on COM 2, so I'm manipulating COM 1. 3472, and then what's ground?
That 70, what's your position?
21.6, is that correct?
25,000.
Yeah, 21.6.
Understand, 25,000, where are you located?
Okay, so 3472 and 21.6 for Holman. Landing 5 and 1-4. So the northeastbound runway or the southeastbound runway. We'll see what's which one they want to give us. We'll be entering straight from the east. So either we'll kind of shunt out to a left
November 34 Foxtrot.
downwind to 1-4 or right downwind to a 5, I would imagine, right?
050.
I mean, let's just...
600 till south, clear for the ILS runway 35.
So if we're coming in this way, right, if we were given 1-4, we would... Yep. If we were given 1-4, we would kind of turn out on to a 45 and then a base and then a final. If we were given runway 5, we would kind of turn out on a 45 this way and then a base and then a final. So either way, we're making a kind of a 45-degree turn here. Baja Star says, I'm direct to that VOR as well. Yeah, everyone's direct to BED. I don't know, maybe I should be as well. A little early for me at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I know you guys... Guys watching from the east side of the Atlantic, I know it's a little late for you guys. Always appreciate you guys stopping in, even though I'm up in the middle of the night for you. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. We appreciate it.
Lima X-ray, radar contact.
So we're over top of the lake, and then it's going to be 20 miles west.
November 185 Lima X-ray contact.
20 miles is 8 minutes. We're at 2.5 miles a minute, right? 8 times 8 plus 8 plus 4, basically. 8 and 8 is 16, then another 4 is 20. So 8 minutes, 2.5 miles a minute, and we're going to go due west.
Charlie Foxtrot, uniform Lima, Quebec. Contact Holman Tower 134.72. Holman Tower.
If we're given runway 5, they do have an ILS to that. We'll tune it just to have it. 1097. And 049er. So we'll tune that just to have it, just for the reference, but not really flying an instrument approach here. We're just going to do a visual pattern. Field elevation there is what? Just shy of 600, so 1600 for our pattern. Oh, we got a little bit of mist and haze here. Make sure we maintain visual contact with the ground now. Alright, due west. And no, looks like we do have a localizer signal from where we are. We do not have a glide slope signal from where we are, and we do not have a DME from where we are. The ILS from runway 5 may or may not have a DME. Yeah, the DME on this approach comes off of the VOR nearby, Terre Haute VOR, I assume that is. So if we really want the distance, it'll be 115.3. We can tune that in. So we're 15 miles, and the VOR is, looks like maybe 3 miles north and east of the field, something to that effect. So not exactly co-located at the airport, but close. Redneck, loving life. Look at you.
Roger.
How you been, man? Happy holidays to you.
November 111 Whiskey Papa, contact Holman Tower 134.72. Take care.
Right over to Holman Tower. Sorry, 134.72.
Alright, we're about 10 miles east, so we should be getting that same call here in a moment. Now we can see sky vector is showing there is some precipitation kind of moving through here. I think we are seeing that in the sims. We're going to kind of struggle to maintain visual conditions here. Right now we do have visibility with the ground. We can see other air traffic. I think we're okay. Redneck says, how are you? I've been blessed. Well, that's great to hear, man. I really can't complain either. I have no right to. Let's put it that way. I can complain. I just have no right to. But I try not to. Aside from the stupid cough I can't seem to shake. Other than that, though, I think I'm same as you, man.
Nighthawk 70, turn left heading 300.
Need to start flying again? Yeah, absolutely. Alright, we got traffic coming in from our right here.
November 514 Delta Victor, contact Holman Tower 134.72.
3472, 514 Delta Victor, we'll see you.
I'll put Mitchell left downwind, or Mitchell right downwind for runway 05.
Sierra Hotel 456, runway 5, taxi via Bravo, hold short runway 5.
Taxi via Bravo, hold short runway 5, Terre Haute.
And November
All right.
577 Alpha, you're cleared for the...
I'm cutting kind of to the north a little bit. I want to make sure I come in behind this traffic coming in from the north.
Your traffic to follow is ahead to your right, a 172 and 1500, joining the downwind for 5 appointments.
We get the traffic inside 145.
November 114 with your pop-up, follow the traffic.
I will follow traffic 145. Holman Tower, good evening. Pop-up 1496 at the north ramp. We're looking to depart VFR to the east. We have Foxtrot.
Club 1496, Holman Tower, are you looking for a flight phone?
Being 40 is overrated, Redneck? Yeah. That's in my rear view at this point.
Your destination and request altitude.
Going to be a cross-country flight. Our first stop will be Columbus Municipal Airport, and we're going to be cruising at 5,500.
Alright, we had traffic kind of right off our nose. Where'd they go? That's them there. We got traffic coming off the field too, maybe here. Alright, where are we exactly in terms of this VOR?
November, Pilot Club 1496, call back.
Say again for Pilot Club 1496?
I'll call you back in just a minute.
Roger that.
Pilot Club 1496, squawk.
Alright, we're 3 miles east of the VOR.
and departure frequency is 125.45.
3747 squawk and 125.45 towards the I-6.
We don't want to lose any more altitude either.
6 reback correct. It'll be
What's the field elevation here?
Ready for taxi.
Oh shoot, didn't mean to close that.
Ready for taxi towards the I-6.
Sierra Hotel 456 on Bravo, cross runway 5, join Alpha, hold short.
Field elevation is basically 600.
Can you repeat that?
Hang on. Hang on, Redneck. I gotta fly the plane here for a minute.
456 on Alpha, correction on Bravo, cross runway 5, join Alpha, hold short runway 14.
Okay, I can see. I'm
Cross, 5 on Bravo.
straight out from the. Yeah, I'm straight out from runway 5 at this point.
Traffic you're supposed to follow is now behind you and to your right.
Yeah, we'll make a left 360. Sorry about that, 40 Papa.
November 514 Delta Victor, home and tower.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a word in edgewise. We're about 4 miles north, and we're at 1,900, and we're looking for a full stop.
Okay, November 4 Delta Victor, I know left downwind for runway 5. Next time you make sure you stay outside of the Delta until you establish communication.
Yep, no problem. 514 Delta Victor, left downwind, runway 5. Yeah, the other complication was I wasn't quite sure where I was, but yeah, he's not wrong. Bah, I'll start with the follow there as well.
Okay, clear, touch and go for runway 5, and we'll fly runway heading on the go for Charlie Foxtrot.
Yeah, no worries, Redneck. I just
1496, runway 14.
I kind of got a little disoriented as to where exactly I was there, as you heard the result of.
Terre Hotel 456, cross runway 5, cross runway 14 on Alpha.
But yeah, bear with me. Let me get kind of my bearings back together here.
November 577 Alpha, your traffic.
And mix is full, Rich.
In 1 mile, it's a.
Let me get some.
Bonanza at 1,300. Report on site.
I got the powers kind of backed way down, and that's I think because we're experiencing some carb icing here. So I've got the carb heat coming in. Power's now coming back up. There we go.
November 577 Alpha, follow that traffic. Extend your downwind, I'll call you back.
We'll follow traffic and extend my downwind with my base.
We'll go ahead and get the gear in the first notch of flap since we're within the white arc. But yeah, as that conversation was happening and I was disoriented about my location and I was having trouble seeing where we were and I was trying to fiddle with the VOR to get that sorted out and I was trying to get into the tower controller to talk to him. Yeah, it all kind of went wrong at the same time, and at the same moment, my carb was icing over. Suddenly realized our speed had dropped, and we were losing power, we were losing altitude, and looked over, my manifold pressure was next to nothing. I was like, okay, well, this is a problem. We got the carb icing in now, and it took a moment to recover, but it's now melted off the ice there. We're okay. Everything's good. 9 Tango says Flight Sim Expo is coming to me. You're in the Twin Cities area? Yeah, I'm actually going to have to miss that one.
Your traffic to follow is heading to your left, a Skyhawk at 1,700 on extended downwind part 5 for Comanche.
Yeah, we see the guy on the opposing downwind 514 Delta Victor.
Okay, 4 Delta Victor, it's not the traffic turning downwind, or turning final, it's the one on downwind, the opposite downwind for 5.
Yeah, we do have the traffic on the downwind 514 Delta Victor.
Remember 4 Delta Victor, follow that traffic.
We will follow that traffic 514 Delta Victor.
Try to Foxtrot Uniform Lima Quebec on the go on quarter, right.
Yeah, so we got the traffic on final. This is the one that's on the downwind.
Hold the tower up. 1496, hold the short runway 14.
Pack up 1490.
You guys can start putting some predictions into the chat as far as the descent rate at the moment the wheels touch runway surface. No bot command necessary for that, just a number into the chat, positive or negative. We will know that you mean a descent rate either way.
November
And
577 Alpha's turning base.
Turning base, 577 Alpha.
the closest predictor gets an automatic entry into our landing rate raffle. Next pulled toward, actually the next landing rate raffle will be pulled on New Year's Day. Bi-monthly at the moment, we'll be going back to monthly after that.
November 4 Whiskey Papa, if you can, left on Foxtrot.
Right, left on Foxtrot, 4 Papa.
Club 1496, runway 14, the wind's 1407, runway 14, clear for takeoff. Traffic's 3.5 mile final for the cross runway.
Clear for takeoff, runway 14, Papa 1496.
Try to Foxtrot uniform, Lima Golf, frequency change cruise.
Frequency change, uniform.
There was somebody right behind that pillar that was... Okay, there they are. There they are. I was like, okay, don't tell me we lost sight of them.
November 114 Whiskey Papa, via Foxtrot, hold short, runway 14.
Right, Foxtrot, hold short, 14,
November 577 Alpha, the wind 1307, runway 5, cleared for the option, traffic departs across the runway.
November 577 Alpha, runway 5, clear for the option.
Alright, let's see if we can get up to the halfway up the runway and vacate left onto Foxtrot. Okay, so we're good here. We're going to extend out a little bit. He said it was a Skyhawk, so that means we're going to need to get the speed way down. Second after flaps coming in.
Club 1496, contact departure.
Over to departure, Club 1496, so long.
Starting to lose power again, so carb ice,
Whiskey Papa on Foxtrot, cross runway 14, ramp P out.
carb heat's coming back in.
Cross 14 to the ramp on Foxtrot 14, Papa.
We'll get that into the third notch of flaps and keep the predictions coming.
Hotel 456, it's one more arrival, I'll get you out.
Alright, one more arrival. Get me out. Thank you.
Just checking to the right, make sure we're not cutting somebody off that we were supposed to follow. I'm pretty sure we have the correct traffic. Alright, flaps are in. Let's get the fuel pump on. Gears down in green. Alright, let's look at traffic to follow. It's just now getting in the runway. Let's get down to our final approach speed and give him time to get off here. I think we should be okay. It looks like he's maybe touched and gone. I take the last call for those predictions, friends. And Tower Comanche 514 Delta Victor, just confirm we are clear to land.
November 4 Delta Victor, runway 5, clear.
They land runway 5, 514 Delta Victor. Alright, we are crabbing off to the right just a little bit, so as we transition down, we'll get the right wing down, left rudder in.
Sierra Hotel 456 runway 5, line up and wait.
Line up and wait. Go with, or not go with. Go with Mr. Hoffman.
November 4 Delta Victor left on Foxtrot, hold short of 14.
Alright, left on Foxtrot, short of 14, 51 for Delta Victor.
November 577 Alpha, your traffic to follow is
Yeah, a little bit of a crosswind crab there. Probably stressed the gear laterally just a little bit there. Well, we made it.
Looking for traffic across the now.
We'll roll it up to Foxtrot and make a left.
Alpha, that was unreadable second.
We're looking for traffic in river crossing 7 Alpha.
Tower, this is 9070, clear for the islet, runway 05, 9070.
Nighthawk 70 Heavy, Holman Tower, reduce the final approach speed to 11307, runway 5, clear to land, 1 departure, party arrival.
Okay, yeah. Good, Fixin said. In the default scenery, this is still a
Clear for takeoff, Skyhawk 456.
this is still a runway.
Fly heading 070 on departure.
Fly heading 070 on departure, Skyhawk 456.
November 577 Alpha, the traffic now 12 o'clock, less than 1 mile northeast bound at 1,200, report on site.
Traffic inside, November 577 Alpha.
November 577 Alpha, follow that traffic, caution brake turbulence, wind 1307, runway 5, clear for the option.
We'll follow traffic, runway 5, clear for the option, November 577 Alpha.
At 514 Delta Victor, we okay to turn off here at Foxtrot 3?
5 Delta Victor, oh, you're going to the hangars there? That's fine.
514 Delta Victor, thanks.
Terre Hotel 456, contact departure.
Alright, so let's flaps, strobes, landing, pitot, heat, and fuel pump. And let's get the mix lean down to where it drops. RPMs, okay. And we'll just go to the end of this hangar and spin around. And we'll do one more leg.
Nighthawk 70 Heavy, left turn, left turn onto Foxtrot. Hold short, runway 14.
Left turn onto Foxtrot, hold short, runway 14, 9070, thank you.
Alright, let's get spun around. And we'll get parked right here. Okay, and the RPM's down to 1,000. And the mix lean right to where the RPM starts to drop. We'd still have the carb heat on. Yeah, we were losing manifold pressure a couple times, and I was in the middle of that conversation with Redneck, and then didn't realize my power had eroded away. And then on short final, it started to kind of erode as well. So, got the carb heat on for now, and I'll show you real quick the situation with the the situation with the scenery. So apparently, this is still a runway 18 in the scenery, or 36, I guess, 36 and 18. So that's why when we turned off, it looked like we turned off onto another runway, and then I was like, well, let me see if I can just go ahead and turn off onto this area here, and instead of getting up here. And then the more we take this north, the more we're going to find that this is all changed, and I don't want to be a big pain in the butt to the controller, so I was like, I'll just park over here. That's fine.
November 202 Papa Golf, 9 miles to the southeast. We're looking to get a tuck and go, and then departure to the northeast.
Anyway, so let's go over the predictions. I've set this one down just a little bit more firmly. A little bit of a stiffer crosswind that I kind of under-corrected for, so then I wound up left the center line, trying to struggle to get it back over. Yeah, 7 knot straight up crosswind and a little bit of a skim and skip there. 135 was the number that registered, so let's see how you guys did in terms of the predictions. We had 112, 98, 43, and 67. So 112 from a Psychic Talker looks like it's going to be the winner. Psychic says you can definitely see where it's changed if you look on Google Maps. Yeah. Take your word for that, as we're going to try and get one more leg in tonight.
Holman Tower on Foxtrot Cross.
Where were we? We are at who was the winner? A Psychic Taco. And what's this called? HUF. On 11/24. Yeah, so not our best work. I was trying to kind of circle around to the north of the Delta, and apparently I cut it too close because he kind of chided me for being within it. I'm trying to. I don't know what it thinks I'm trying to do. I'm trying to scroll the map. What are you doing? There we go. Yeah, okay. I definitely cut that. I don't have a 4-mile ring drawn here. Well, no, this was the part. We were on a downwind here.
Alpha, request taxi straight ahead to Hoosier.
Number 577 Alpha, straight on Bravo, gonna.
So I wonder, there's not a measuring tool, is there? I thought I saw somebody post about there being a measuring tool on here. Good Fixin' says, great, flying with you is always going to skip the last leg. Yeah, no problem, man. Always good to have company. I appreciate it. So yeah, I was trying to stay north of the Delta as I circled around, but at this point where he called me, he definitely felt I was inside his airspace, and he's probably correct. Yeah, there's no measuring tool that big, says Redneck. That's what she said. Alright, let's finish up with one more leg to head back home. Yeah, and this one should be fairly easy in terms of the navigation. Because if you go Terre Haute back to Indy, you got some real straightforward visual landmarks. You got an interstate, a U.S. highway to your left. You got an interstate to your right, and if you stay between them the entire way, bang, right? Airport's dead center. So I think we can handle that. That should be easy enough.
Remember, keep up a golf for being the number 75.
And let's hope the weather clears up a little bit as we head north and east as well. Alright, real quick then, let's get the directional gyro calibrated. We're only a couple degrees off there, so we'll just wind it back. Our arrival runway was runway 5.
November 2 Papa Golf, the wind 1407, runway 5, clear to land. Crushing clear, touch and go, and on the go on course approved.
And it was a 051 is the runway heading, so we can go ahead and turn that to a 051. Our on course is pretty much a straight out, is it not? What did this say? 075. Okay, so a little bit of a right turn out. Basically a 45 right turn out, not even really. 075. 25 degree right turn out. So we're going to basically tell them straight out departure. We'll go ahead and set the flaps. We'll go ahead and set the trim. Go ahead and talk to ground. 21.6, right? No. If they were on, they are no longer. So 3472. And then 2545 is our likely departure frequency. And I can set this back to 1200 for now. Pending our next clearance. Seb part of 2. Yep, headed back to Indy, so we'll see how it goes. It does look like there's a fair amount of general aviation traffic, but we will see. It's good that there's a good GA turnout for these. Alright, we'll see what happens. We'll request flight following Seb, but if they're too busy to offer it, then that's fine. Home and Tower, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, VFR request.
November 4 Delta Victor, Home and Tower,
Tower 514 Delta Victor, information Golf. We're parked over here off of Foxtrot 3, looking for a VFR northeast bound, basically straight out departure. Flight following if available, and I'll give you that info if you want it.
November 202 Papa Golf, frequency change, please. Frequency change, 36 Papa Golf. November 514 Delta Victor, yeah, go ahead with the
we'll call it 3,500 up to Indianapolis, and we're a Papa Alpha 24 Comanche.
That's right, it was 3,500.
A-frame. I don't know if we'll get that high based on the cloud cover, but we'll try.
Remember, 4 Delta Victor, squawk 5507, and departure is 125.45.
Alright, 5507, departure 125.45, 514 Delta Victor. We are ready to taxi from Foxtrot 3.
Good evening, Home and Tower. Skywagon November 185 Lima X-ray. We are just east of the field at 3,500. If possible, could we get the visual approach runway 14?
November 5 Lima X-ray, Home and Tower, which runway were you requesting?
Runway 14, just because the wind's favored, that'd give us a headwind instead of a crosswind.
Yeah, it was a vicious crosswind coming in.
5 Lima X-ray, NRA, right downwind, runway 14.
Enter right downwind, runway 14, Skywagon 5 Lima X-ray.
November 4 Delta Victor, runway 14, taxi via Foxtrot.
14 taxi via Foxtrot, 514 Delta Victor.
And Terre Haute Tower, Baron 58 Charlie, it's with you, 3,000. We'd like 14 for landing.
November 58.
Okay, so 14, that means we're going to taxi left on Foxtrot and head up to...
Okay, Golf current, your traffic to follow is at your 11 o'clock, 5 miles northbound.
Head up to where this intersects with 14.
Skywagon at 3,400, report in sight.
Okay, Roger, we have Golf, and we do not have the traffic 58 Charlie through there.
Okay, November 8 Charlie Juliet, just proceed north, and I'll have a turn for you and run through it.
So this used to be
north,
runway 18 and 36. It's now taxiway Foxtrot. But when I get up to the north end of this, I'm going to have to be careful about how it intersects with runway 14, because I don't know. can you hire me for some flight lessons? Well, I'm not a real-world pilot, and so no. And I'm not...
Charlie, let's do this. You can join the right down.
Part of VATSIM's code of conduct is that you can't make money off of VATSIM. I can make money off of Twitch, but I can't make money off of VATSIM. So no.
185 Lima X-ray. Your traffic to follow at your 2 to 3 o'clock.
Not that I would have time anyway.
Sounds of Barron at 3,200 report on site.
Looking for this traffic, Skywagon, 5 Lima X-ray. I'm currently on the 1-4 crosswind at the moment.
Okay, November 5 Lima X-ray. Just continue in the right downwind for 1-4. And
Right downwind for 1-4 Skywagon, 5 Lima X-ray.
Terre Tower, good evening, November 1 Bravo Bravo Comanche with information golf looking for IFR to Aurora, Minnesota.
Seb, part of 2. Any thoughts on the code of conduct?
1407, runway 14, clear for takeoff, and on course is approved.
Alright, clear for takeoff 14 on course approved, 514 Delta Victor. Any thoughts on the code of conduct and code of regulations? I got lots of thoughts on them. I was involved in making them.
Runway 5. November 123 Echo Alpha, Holman Tower, the wind 1307, runway
but there were a lot of them, so if there's a specific one you want some thoughts on, you'll need to kind of narrow it down for me, man. That's a big topic. That's a simple question with a complex answer.
November 185 Lima X-ray, your traffic to follow now at your 1 to 2 o'clock, 5 miles northwest down at 3000.
Still don't have the traffic. They may be obscured by the clouds. Skywagon, 5 Lima X-ray. We're in the right downwind for 1-4.
You're following me. You're in a left downwind for 1-4, and it is a little cloudy up here. They might have a hard time seeing me. And Tower, do you want me to continue in a left downwind for 1-4, 5 Charlie Juliet?
November 8 Charlie Juliet, negative. You should join the pattern. Turn your base now.
Yeah, so that one's got a lot going on, Seb. I mean, the idea is...
November 5 Lima X-ray, just extend your downwind, I'll call your base.
The idea is we're trying to encourage people not to use text unless they really need to, but we're trying to be real gentle about what really need to means. That's about all I can say about that. That's more of a supervisor issue than anything with pilot training. But basically, we're just trying to say, hey, don't just use text because you're scared. Use text because you have some real need to use text. But again, you know, there's a lot that gets into a point of departure 514 Delta Victor. There's a lot of nuance there that I don't really want to cover here in the stream. Home departure, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, just part of the airport, 1,500 going to 3,500.
514 Delta Victor, home and approach, radar contact.
Alright, we can get the, I did I get the...
514 Delta Victor, time to maintain 3,500, resume on navigation.
Alright, 3,500. Can we get at or below just in case because of the cloud cover?
514 Delta Victor, at or below 3,500.
At or below 3,500, thanks. 514 Delta Victor. And we're resuming our own navigation. Alright, so now. This is one of the highways that we are trying to follow. There should be two. And let me get my bearings about me here, figure out where I am. And then I'll come back to that. So let's go 24 on the RPMs, 24 on the power, P2 heater on, fuel pump off, all the lights on. And then let me go find that highway. And there should be 2 highways. I only see the one. But if we follow the one, I mean, well, they're parallel, so if we follow the one, we'll be fine. And then up ahead to our left, if we see a flashing light up ahead to our left, that's likely this Putnam County Regional here.
Number 129er Sierra Uniform, you have frequency.
And if we see that Putnam County, that is to the left of both of the highways. So we might be... The other highway might be further over to our right. That's okay. We'll just pick one and follow it, and we'll be okay. Let's just level it at 2,500. Any changes relate to pilot training? Yeah, so the one thing that we've... oh, you know what? Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm headed south. I'm headed southeast.
November 129er Sierra Uniform, home and approach, home and altimeter 299er 8. Did I understand correctly? You want to do the RNAV 17 in Bloomington?
It looks like my aircraft transfer already at the moment for that.
November 129 Sierra Uniform, roger.
So I wonder if what I'm looking at here is... I wonder if what I'm looking at here is Brazil, Clay County.
November 129er Sierra Victor, yeah. Probably vector you off the final approach course since your altitude is a little too high. So, flight heading 270, descend to maintain 3,000.
So what we're working on, Seb, is we're really trying to make a distinction when a supervisor gets involved with a pilot because they're struggling. We're really trying to make a distinction between they're struggling because they're intentionally causing problems, or they're struggling because they need more education, right? We got this motto of VATSIM is aviate, educate, communicate, right? Oh my god, I still got the flaps out too. Gear and flaps coming in finally.
Delta Victor, contact Indy approach 119.05.
Alright, 1905, 514 Delta Victor, we'll see you. See. 1905. So when a supervisor gets involved with a pilot that's causing problems, you know, there's got to be kind of a decision point. Is this pilot causing problems because they're, you know, a punk who just doesn't care, and they're just, you know, just causing issues because they just don't really want to get with the program? Well, that's a disciplinary issue that needs to be dealt with suspensions and that kind of thing. Or are they causing problems because they just really don't know what they're supposed to be doing? They really haven't done, you know, enough self-study on IFR procedure to know how to follow SIDS and stars, how to read charts, where to find the resources. You know, that we're trying to then transfer over to a staff under pilot training to address, rather than to slap them on the wrist. So we're really trying to make that distinction. Like, are you causing problems intentionally, or are you causing problems out of ignorance? And there's now going to be basically two separate processes for dealing with that. You know, and again, that's still kind of in its infancy as well. Alright, let's turn the Brickyard VOR 116.3. Yeah, VFR is getting a little bit iffy here, but let's... Let's tune 116.3. Let's get the arrow tuned to where it's pointing us right toward it. So at the very least, even if we can't see the roads we're trying to follow, we can just follow the VOR. Indy approach, Comanche 514 Delta Victor. Did I check in with you? I'm at 2000. I don't think I checked in with them.
Comanche 514 Delta Victor, Indy approach, welcome. Indy Alpha Clear 3000, information Delta current at Indy.
3000, and we'll fetch Delta 514 Delta Victor. .23s. Yep. Okay. And approach 514 Delta Victor. We got Delta on board.
Thank you.
Seb, so what you want to do is go under my.vatsim.net, and there's a tab called Pilot Training, and then there's a link there that lists out the various, what they call ATOs, or Authorized Training Organizations. They are essentially, well, there's some that are basically, all they do is training, right? They're just training or pilot training organizations. There are some that are virtual airlines that also have a training department that is authorized to issue pilot ratings. And then there's some pilot training programs that are actually operated by the air traffic control entities. So, for example, trying to think of a good example, like VATSIM UK, right? They are the entity which provides ATC services in the UK, but they also have a pilot training program run by VATSIM UK. So you have a bunch of different types of organizations that do pilot training and are authorized to perform that training and then award the rating. All right, 22. Let's lean the mix out to about 14 here. $30 miles and counting down. But the ratings being, more or less ornamental, Seb, that's, I hate to say this as the guy in charge of the department. I'm grateful that that program exists and that there's a bunch of very dedicated people who are involved in it. But really getting, getting a staff of people ready to address pilots who need, pointed to educational resources. That's kind of my focus for 2026. Getting that program more fully staffed, more up and running, more actively involved, and then the idea is that we will eventually kind of roll out the notion that a supervisor wouldn't necessarily have to get involved before a pilot gets pointed to those resources. If a controller encounters a pilot that needs that assistance, or even another pilot encounters a pilot that needs that sort of assistance, that they could make the referral themselves without a supervisor having to be the intermediary there. So that's kind of where we're trying to go with it, but we've got some ramping up to do before we're ready to handle that volume. So for right now, it's still a supervisor referral. That's the typical intake method, but we'll roll it out when we're ready. Yeah, the military ratings are kind of outside my purview. That's all under. There's a separate VATSIM vice president who is in charge of the special operations, and that's all his stuff. We share a system that kind of keeps track of those ratings. That the guy that works in my department is primarily the developer of. So I think if you go on that system called prams.vatsim.net, you'll see a list of ATOs and you'll see a list of military training organizations. So it's all in that same system, but it's not really run by the one department. It's two separate departments. All right, let's get ready to arrive back in Indy. We know they're landing in the 2-3s. We know we're basically going to come in on a downwind. So the question is, do we get a right downwind to 2-3 right or a left downwind to 2-3 left? And either way, we're good to go. We're ready. Well, Seb says, I think personally if I as a controller could PM a pilot saying visit such and such website for help flying on the network, well, you can already do that. Okay, there already is a collection of resources available under my.vatsim.net under pilot training. It's called the Pilot Learning Center. So you can already do that if you want. The question is, will the pilot abide by that or will the pilot ignore you? And the part of the official referral process is that if we think a pilot is in such a severe need of help that they need to participate in those training resources before they connect to the network again, we have the power. We have the power to enforce that. We're not quite there yet that we're ready to have that power, but we do. Under the new rules, we do have that power. So again, that's what we're building toward. You know, and again, that would be the kind of thing that would be exercised only in the most severe instances. And before anybody gets concerned that we're going to be wielding that power indiscriminately, it's still only going to be 3 people globally in my department that have that authority, that level of authority. So, no, this is not something we're going to be firing off at the hip. But in the severe cases that merit it, we will have the ability to make sure someone gets some additional help before they come back. And then, you know, honestly, provide. You know,
514 Delta Victor, fly heading to 080 vectors for your sequence.
It's 080 514 Delta Victor. That's kind of what we're flying now, so we'll stick with it. And 514 Delta Victor, we are still in visual conditions here, but just barely so. Would we be able to get a real quick pop-up IFR?
November 514 Delta Victor, yeah, no problem. You're cleared to Indianapolis International via Radar Vectors, maintain 3000.
All right, Radar Vectors in 3000, 514 Delta Victor. Alright, so that's good. We'll take it up 1,000 and we'll just get vectored in.
Indy approach, Charlie Foxtrot, uniform Quebec, about 20 miles west of Columbus.
And then that's 080.
Columbus, at 3,000
Charlie Foxtrot, uniform Lima, Quebec, contact Indy approach 124.95.
124.95, or Charlie Foxtrot, uniform Quebec.
Well, 080. Let's get over on our assigned heading. Yeah, so Psychic Taco. Possible pilot deviation, they have a URL, advised ready to copy. Yeah, something like that. I mean, obviously, if you're a VATSIM member, you're maintaining a active email address. So we know how to reach you. God, my voice is getting worse and worse, guys. I'm so sorry.
On a 230, we can go back to direct Terre Haute whenever you're ready. November 251 Bravo Charlie, you're clear direct Terre Haute.
And Seb says the worst ones to me are the ones who say something along the lines of like, I have 9,000 hours, I know what I'm doing. They'll try and tell me what to do. Yeah, and the problem with that mentality, you know, and I covered it to some extent in the presentation I gave at the most recent Flight Sim Expo, VATSIM Myths. You know, it doesn't really matter how many hours you have in a solo environment, you know, or on VATSIM without ATC. Oh, head up to 4,000, 514 Delta Victor. You know, in a solo environment or an environment without air traffic control services, you know, especially if you're one of these folks that has this propensity to get on the network and do these massive long hauls where you're not really even interacting with anybody, and, you know, heaven forbid you actually are asleep during those, which you're not supposed to do, but a lot of people do it. So you rack up all these hours, but you're not really gaining that experience commensurate with those hours. 2395, 514 Delta Victor. So yeah, then this, you know, this number of hours gets to be this, you know, number that you hold over everyone's head, but it's really meaningless. Indy approach, Comanche 514 Delta Victor, 3,500 going to 4,000.
Delta Victor, Indy approach, altimeter 3000.
3000, 514 Delta Victor. Yeah, so basically, Seb, you know, we're trying to put ourselves in the position of being the intermediaries in the pilot training department, where if someone needs to be pointed to additional resources, we, A, can be the person who points them to those resources, and those are vetted resources that are good resources. They're, you know, not questionable resources or resources that, that aren't accurate or are outdated. But also, if we feel someone really needs, you know, mandatory interaction with those resources before they come back to the network, we've got some teeth. And again, we're not looking to use that often or indiscriminately, but for the cases in which it is merited, we have it. So again, you know, all this is work in progress that 2026 will eventually bring. Alright, let's get prepared. We're going to need to fly some sort of an instrument approach into Indy. We'll get starts for 23 left and 23 right. Up and ready. Meanwhile, we're 080 and 4,000. So, Seb, yeah, that's not really a pilot training thing, though, is it? That's not something that's really changed. Some of us in Honolulu log on in the morning and see pilots doing donuts over the airfield because they're asleep. Yeah, that's a supervisor matter. That's not a pilot training matter. Then that really won't change. However, that does lend toward your point of people that are gaining hours by not really interacting. So as far as that part of the conversation goes, yeah, that's illustrative of what we're talking about. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm flying 080, but my magnetic compass says I'm flying 070, so... I'm going to get more over to 080. Yeah, but in terms of dealing with that problem specifically, I mean, yes, that's a symptom of them building hours that aren't really hours. But in terms of dealing with that problem specifically, that's a supervisor problem, and that's not a pilot training problem. They're not doing that because they don't understand a procedure. If you catch the distinction I'm making, right? Alright. Just on a whim. Where are we, first of all?
Air 4 Delta Victor to maintain 2,500.
2,500, 514 Delta Victor.
Actually, 4 Delta Victor, I was thinking 2,900, so you don't get these.
Okay, 2,900, 514 Delta Victor. And do you have a notion of whether we're going to be set up for right or left side?
Oh, 4 Delta Victor, I'm sorry, they had you down for 2-3 right.
Okay, we'll expect that. 514 Delta Victor, no problem. What are my thoughts about controllers getting aggravated at less experienced pilots? Well, they shouldn't get aggravated. They should simply refer those pilots to get assistance. But I understand it's an aggravating problem.
Delta Victor, turn right, heading 130.
130, 514 Delta Victor. I mean, should they get aggravated? No. Do you understand why they get aggravated? Yes, of course. But with a more robust process of referring those pilots to get the knowledge that they need, you know, hopefully we're going to make some headway on that problem. Alright, let's get briefed for this approach. 111.75. Course is 230.
Fort Delta Victor, airport's at your, Fort Delta Victor, airport's at your 2 o'clock and about 7 miles from the site.
We do have it in sight, 514 Delta Victor.
Fort Delta Victor, clear visual approach runway 23 right, connect tower 120.9, good night.
Clear the visual 23 right and tower 20.9 or 514 Delta Victor, thanks.
Runway, wind 1409er, runway 23 right, line from way.
23 right, line from way, American 27.
Alright, friends, let's get some predictions into the chat. As far as the vertical descent rate at the moment, the wheels touch runway surface. No Mach command necessary in this channel for that. Just a number into the chat, positive or negative. We'll know they can meet a descent rate either way. And the closest prediction going to be entitled to a automatic entry into our landing rate raffle next pulled on January 1st, New Year's Day.
November 577 Alpha Indy Tower, stay in tension.
From 7 Alpha at Alpha 5. I'm just gonna text you back. From 7 Alpha.
Okay, November 577 Alpha. Do you want text back to the runway or text back to parking?
Text back to parking, please. From 7 Alpha.
Okay, November 577 Alpha. Contact ground 121.9er. Thanks for flying.
Alright, we're 5 out.
Contact ground 121.9er. Thanks very much. From 7 Alpha.
Gear coming in. Indy Tower, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is 5 out for 23 right visual.
November 514 Delta Victor, traffic on the roll should be no factor. Runway 23 right, clear to land, runway 110.9er.
Got the traffic in sight, clear to land 23 right, 514 Delta Victor.
And November 90 Charlie Alpha, turn left heading 210, runway 23 left, takeoff.
Alright, looks like we're getting blown off to the right, so we're gonna crab over to the left here. Yeah, I missed the conversation earlier.
Target 2781, contact departure. Departure 2781, get in.
Okay, so JG Mathis was asking about, like, when are you supposed to vacate if you're not told something? I mean, generally the answer is as early as you can. It's not really wrong to take longer, but it's not, you know, it's not wrong, but if you know that there's traffic cleared behind you, you know, part of knowing that there's traffic cleared behind you is knowing that you need to get off as quickly as you can. Definitely a best practice, I would say, getting off as quickly as you can. Alright, last call for the predictions, friends.
November 90 Charlie Alpha, contact departure.
Over departure, Charlie Alpha, thanks for the work tonight.
Alright, looks like that crosswind is kind of settled out. We seem to be tracking pretty straight now, and I still got some speed to bleed off here. Third and final notch of flaps coming in. A little bit of a left to right. You can see the windsock right below us. So left wing down, right rudder as soon as we get over the threshold. Over controlling the flare as always.
And tower bearing 5A Charlie Juliet 4,500 just got approved for visual runway 14, but we're still at 4,500 and it's pretty high. If we can get a left 360, if there's nobody else out here, that would work.
Baron 5A Charlie Juliet, Indy Tower, affirmative. You can make a left 360 and you can plan for runway 14.
Left 360,
So man, we came in very, very flat. Almost a three-pointer there. Yeah. Almost nothing. It may have been de facto three-pointer there.
November 514 Delta Victor, welcome to Indy, contact ground 121.9er.
Hey, 21.9er, 514 Delta Victor, thanks.
789er left turn on the Fox. Birmingham for now.
Hold short of 2454.
Alright, flaps. Strobes, landing. Never got the fuel pump on. We'll get that and the pitot heat off. 1,000 RPMs. Lean right to the point where it
Indianapolis ground, Sky Q 1583, looking to get taxi with 2 runway exploration.
starts to drop. Get the flap stowed, yeah.
Call sign again?
Sky Q 1583.
Alright, 1583, runway 23 left, taxi via Delta.
23 left via Delta. Sky.
Alright, so that's the terminal straight ahead of us. We're at Bravo 5. Yeah, it wasn't that nice. It was, the crosswind wasn't well controlled for. Other than that, it was okay.
Alright, thanks. Flight 6.
Indy ground, Comanche 514, Delta Victor's off at 23 right. That's Bravo 5. We're going to signature ramp.
Comanche 514, Delta Victor, taxi signature via Bravo, Papa, Hotel, hold short runway 14.
Alright, Bravo, Papa, and Hotel, short of 14, 514, Delta Victor. I am the crow, says take the compliment. Fair. I am my own worst critic, but, you know, I mean, that's part of what I do is I'm always trying to say, well, you know, that was okay. What could have been better? So that's my reaction is always going to be, okay, what could have been better?
Contact Indianapolis Tower 120.9. Over to Tower 6.
So that's not me being, you know, down. Trust me, I'm not depressed. I'm not depressed. I'm not unhappy. I am simply saying what you just saw was good but not perfect. What could have made it closer to perfect? I am the crow. So what you're seeing here is Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I'm on the 2020 version, not got the 2024 version. We are connected to the VATSIM network, which you can connect to with any number of different flight simulators, and that is where you're hearing the real people talking. So that's not native to the simulator itself. It is part of the VATSIM network that you have the human pilots and human air traffic controllers. But that's not necessarily just a Microsoft Flight Simulator thing. That's Microsoft Flight Simulator, that's prepared, what we call P3D, that's X-Plane. There's a handful of different simulators you can use to connect to VATSIM with. This is just one of them. But no, I get
Kilo Yankee Echo. I'm not sure what that call sign is. 1583.
But no, I get what you guys are saying. I'm not. I'm not suggesting that I'm a terrible pilot. I'm also not suggesting I'm a fantastic pilot. But you know, always like as a pilot, you should always be looking for ways to improve.
Southwest 1688. Contact tower 120.9.
Oh yeah, I am the crow. Yep, there's these are all people that you're hearing talking to one another.
Tower 20.9, subgroup reality.
Matter of fact, the guy that is controlling Indianapolis ground, I've met him.
Indianapolis ground, American 2320 is ready for taxi with Echo on board.
American 2320, runway 23 right. Taxi via.
Do I fly in real life? Nope. This is all just a hobby.
Kilo
A obsessively pursued hobby.
Kilo Romeo Bravo 23 right, American
3. Indy ground Southwest 139, vacated 22 right of Bravo 7. Look for gate Bravo 20.
Southwest 139, taxi to the terminal via Bravo Tango.
Bravo Tango Southwest 139.
Big Grand November 262, Romeo Mike at the Millionaire.
Oh, there was that guy that got cleared to land on 1-4.
262 Romeo Mike, runway 23 left.
Okay, we have a taxiway that's just short of the runway. Yes.
Delta, hold short runway 14.
Mike Delta, hold short 14 for 262 Romeo Mike.
Alright, so when we get to this whole short line here, we're duty bound to stop until we're told we can cross. As we just saw, there was an aircraft that just used that runway, so definitely want to get permission before we roll on any further. So we came up this way. No, what do we do? We came up this way, and then Papa, and then Hotel, and now we're short of 1-4. So we should get Hotel. No, I'm not trying to make a straight line there, dude. Hotel, Mike, and then basically just into the ramp from there.
And Indianapolis ground, bearing 58 Charlie Juliet is off 14 Mike 2, going to signature.
58 Charlie Juliet, new taxi to signature via Mike.
Signature via Mike, 58 Charlie Juliet.
And ground 4 Delta Victor, short of 1-4 on Hotel.
Stand by for Delta Victor.
Right, he has to talk to the tower controller to make sure that I'm okay to cross that. Alright, I guess while we're waiting.
Number 514 Delta Victor, across runway 14 at Hotel, complete taxi via Mike.
Alright, cross 1-4 at Hotel, and then signature via Mike, 514 Delta Victor.
Number 377 Papa Whiskey, cross runway 14 at Delta.
114 Delta.
Number 362 Romeo Mike, cross 14 Delta.
4 via Delta 62 Romeo Mike.
Alright, we'll make the right turn here. Oh, Tim says 14 is my control again.
Short of Romeo.
There you go. That, Tim Dog, by the way, is our ground controller. He's also in the chat with us.
2454.
So yeah, he had to surrender control of 1-4 briefly because they had an arrival, and then he had to clear with the tower that 1-4 was back to being his.
Did I tell you to tell her?
Yeah, you did for United 2454.
Yeah, I think that was before I knew that you got held up by the Americans, so somebody else had already passed those a long time ago.
How good.
Alright, how far down are we going?
7 Papa Whiskey, contact Indianapolis Tower 120.9.
Oh, it's our 120.9, yeah.
So the signature is these diagonal buildings. So
62 Romeo Mike
I turn in one. If I turn in here,
Hey, affirmative. I was just about to call you. Zooming in to find your call sign. 62 Romeo Mike, over to tower 10.9.
10.9 for 2 Romeo Mike. Thank you. See ya.
See ya.
all right. Yeah, I think this is where we started right here.
Indy Ground American 3233, pushback please.
American 3233, pushback is at your discretion. Call for taxi information. Echo is current.
We have Echo, push our discretion and call for taxi American 3233.
Alright, there we are. Right back where we started. So, 136, as we just said, 136 was the winning number.
FedEx 2484 ready to taxi.
FedEx 24.
Your guesses came in at 43, 77, 100, 85, 76, and 81.
2484.
Psychic Taco was highest, and Psychic Taco wins again. How many was that? Was that 2? Yeah, because we had Kenny Monster, Jake, Psychic Taco, Psychic Taco. Alright, very good, guys. Well, 4 more entries into the landing rate raffle, PSY.
And FedEx 2484.
I guess it doesn't really matter. The P is silent.
American 2230.
But if I pull a winning entry out, I hope that it's one where I spelled your name right.
120.9.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up so I can give my voice a little rest and hopefully shake this cough before the next stream. This was Pumpkin Pie and Patterns, hosted by the Indianapolis ARTCC. Another half hour left of coverage, so if you're able to jump on VATSIM, get maybe a quick leg in. They're still staffing Indy, Columbus, Bloomington, and Terre Haute, so please feel free to jump on. Thanks to Tim Dog, and thanks to all the controllers from the Indy ARTCC who provided service for us tonight. We appreciate it. Nice Monday event, good turnout, good general aviation showing. All right, I'm going to wrap up quickly just so I don't talk too much more before my voice completely goes out. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging with us. We are going to be back with you on Wednesday. What's the plan for Wednesday? Oh, Wednesday, we're doing a reprise of our Alaska challenge. We'll be in the PNDG 737. And we're going to be challenging ourselves to some of the difficult approaches up in Alaska. It didn't really necessarily go great last time. They are very challenging approaches up there. And, of course, you guys know I'm more of a general aviation pilot than an airliner pilot. So, yeah, we'll do our best to muddle through another couple of really interesting, cool, challenging approaches up in the Alaska Airlines repertoire. So that'll be Wednesday. Our normal show time is 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, which is midnight Zulu on the day ahead. And the full show schedule is down under the About tab, also over on our Discord server. We talked about our YouTube playlist, VATSIM Tutorials. Those of you considering getting onto the VATSIM network, needing a push in the right direction in terms of what to say, how to put routes together, read sectionals, etc., etc. Check out those resources there on our YouTube channel, VATSIM Tutorials playlist. Ask questions there or in the comments or over on our Discord. Alright, we talked about the next stream. Yeah, I guess that's going to be it. Then. Let's shoot you over to one of the VATSIM air traffic controllers working this event. Now, he's working the center sector. We didn't get a chance to talk to him tonight. He's working the sector that controls the airspace above everybody that we're talking to right now, that we talked to all evening. But here's a very good friend of the stream, Mr. Stu 222, STW 222. We'll get you over to him in a raid here, so tell him that Slant Alpha sends his love and regrets that he didn't get a chance to talk to him today. But he's got a half an hour left in the event here, so and he probably will stay on even past that. As long as he's not too busy, he'll be happy to kind of talk you through what's going on and how he does what he does. We do a mix of flying and controlling on this stream, by the way. So if you want to see what we're going to be up to, check out that full schedule under the About tab or over on our Discord. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. is the usual start time in terms of U.S. Eastern Time, but we do vary the days up every now and then, so do check that schedule out if you want to see when we're going to be on for sure and what we're going to be up to. Alright, we're going to get you over to Stu. I'm going to go ahead and close the aircraft down after I do that, just to save myself a little bit of talking. But we'll get you sent over to Stu and hope that you guys enjoy his show. Alright, we'll talk to you again on Wednesday. Between now and then, be happy, healthy, and safe in all of your own travels and adventures. Take care, friends. We'll see you then.
Kilo Romeo Charlie 23 left, American 3233.